So I was dressed as parking lot security. So I got 150,000 in jewels. And as I'm sticking my bags in my van, a police officer shows up. I pull out a phone. I'm on the phone with the dispatcher. The guy, he went that way. For the past 40 years, my father's been a pimp. And so...
Okay.
There's a really interesting system in nightclub stuff because I worked this system too. So like it was like father and son working. But hostess bars in Japan?
Yeah.
So they get paid to drink with you and things like that?
Yeah. They kind of create the illusion that they're kind of falling for you. It's but it's understood by the men. They flirt. They don't have sex, supposedly. They flirt. It's like taking a girl out and she is all into you and drinks with you and everything.
Yeah.
It's funny because I read a book on it. It was like, wow, it's not prostitution.
Yeah. So in the Hispanic community in America and also abroad, those exist, but in a different way. So they're nightclubs and you invite these girls to drink and you pay them for them to drink. So like at the time we were selling, so a domestic beer, so like a Coors Light would cost $10 at the bar. So $5 of that goes to the girl, but she gets a ticket. And so like a little ticket and represents $5. And the guys who bring her there that night, which are like the people in charge of her security, transportation, all that, they redeem the tickets for cash at the end of the night.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of the system, but there's also, like the prostitution is a little thing to it. So, yeah. So you don't collect money for the actual sex itself, but just like, okay, I'm going to take care of you the whole time. This is your fee for the night. And so we run that across, we'd have 40, 50 girls in a club. When my dad ran the system in like the 2000s, he had a really famous nightclub back then in New Rochelle, New York. It was called Eclipse. It was really popular back then. It was like 2006, 2007, like a lot of government corruption and a lot of stuff like that. But he made a lot of money. He ran 127 working girls every single night of the week, 7 nights a week. And this is when I'm growing up. So like this is where it gives context.
Okay.
And so I'm going around with him in the vans with all the girls, and like these women are do you know New York women, like how they really act, like the ghetto New Yorkness? It's terrible. Like it's awful. I remember porno mags and condoms and chicken wing bones and man. And that was growing up.
Right.
Yeah. And so
And you're just a kid.
I didn't know that wasn't.
How old were you?
I mean, he was doing that my whole life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my whole life he was doing that because my mom worked for him in the bar, but she wasn't one of the girls. She was like a bartending and she was shitty at her job, and he ended up like wifing her up and he got pregnant and things like that. And so my mom was a young mother, so she had my brother at 15, and then she had me at 19.
Mm.
Yeah, she's originally from the Dominican Republic, so it's not unnormal.
Right.
Yeah. So, and so I grew up in that environment. So he had, 3, 4, 16-passenger vans full of women at all times. He had, remember he had a Porsche that he kept as a filing cabinet where he would just put the files away and things like that and paperwork, And then when I was young, my parents split, but it was terrible. It was really bad. It got so bad that they're in the Supreme Court. They went to the New York Supreme Court, and their stuff's actually case law. So have you ever heard where like the courts say, okay, you owe this much money, and they're like to the thing, but I can't afford it,
right?
And they're like, it's not your obligation to be able to afford it. You are alive, you can pay it. That's basic, and that was them. Like you can look them up.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, so he was getting charged. So I am his biological son. My brother's not his biological son. He raised my brother and me, right, after the fact. So now they charged him at the time, early 2000s, $400 a week per kid. So like you're talking about a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so he would do these like elaborate scams. You would have loved this guy. I mean, he's still alive. You would have loved this guy. He would go into the court, 1 week with a neck brace. He was like, Your Honor, I can't work. It was like, and she would tell him, like, you're gonna make the money no matter what. And then he would go again next week, neck brace and a cane. Your Honor, I can't work. And she wouldn't give a shit. She would not give a shit. And then he goes, I can curse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so He goes one day with a fucking a wheelchair and a neck brace. Every time he's going in, he's making the story even bigger than it was before. He's hilarious. My mother gets so upset. She gets so upset in the court, and there's transcripts too. She gets so upset. She jumps up and she yells, "He has this much money in this safety deposit box in Connecticut, and this much money in this safety deposit box." My father fakes a heart attack in the courtroom. He fakes a heart attack. He's like, he grabbed my chest. As the paramedics are wheeling him out the courthouse steps and things like that, jumps out of the ambulance. Hops into the Porsche, and drives straight to Connecticut.
To get the money?
To get the money out. Then he comes back the next week and he's like, "I'm doing fine, Your Honor. You can go check those safety deposit boxes." Yeah. But I mean, their whole relationship was like wild. You know, she was basically a kid. My father at that time was like mid-30s. He didn't know how old she was. She used a fake ID back then. And like, you know, I remember one time he told me a story. He was like, I had stayed out for 3 days because I was just busy and falling asleep in the car. And I had stayed out of the house for 3 days. And I came back home, and you know, I was sneaking in because I knew your mom would be mad. So I go into the bathroom. I open the bathroom, and there's your mother with a knife, and she's trying to stab me. And I close the door, and I crawl out the window. And I asked my mom that. I was like, "Hey, he told me this story." She was like, "Oh, yeah, I remember that. That motherfucker stayed out for 3 days." I was going to stab him if I caught him. He got lucky because he got out the window. And so, like, you know, and, you know, obviously, like, that leaches over into childhood and things like that. So it wasn't the best. And then plus, like, early 2000s Bronx, New York, like, it's not great. So, like, you know, I was always, at that time period, it's like gangster rap was the most popular thing, 50 Cent and all that. So you're talking about puffy jackets and Hummers. And so, like, your idea as a kid is, like, to be the tough guy. Like, as a New Yorker. And then all New Yorkers try to be tough guys. So, like, you know, you fit in. And so I remember my father, he always had hustles going on. He had the girls, but he also sold antiques. He sold cars. He always had this other stuff. He was a guy.
Fucking immigrants, bro. They just they'll get 3 fucking jobs. They're always hustling. Like, you know, the what do they call them? The Zoes, you know, Zoes. You ever heard of Zoes?
Oh, you're talking about
Haitians they'll be driving a truck fucking 50 hours a week, and they'll have another 2 part-time jobs and they get 15 hours a week. You're like, you're working 80 hours a week, bro.
Yeah. Oh no, I only saw him when he was sleeping on the couch when he came back in. Like, he was always working. But, like, you know, sometimes you bring me along, and, you know, I get this idea of hustle and entrepreneurship and all this other stuff. And so my first hustle was in the 2nd grade, selling fake tattoos, like the ones you get at the coin slots. Yeah. So my father would buy them for me, and I would go to the school and I would sell them double for what we paid for them. And so, you know, I was selling them to, like, young kids and things like that. And, you know, as time goes on, people don't want them anymore. And so, like,
everybody that did want them in school has got one now. All right,
yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, or, you know, the fad passes, you know. So at the time, I was in the 2nd grade, so I got in my first fist fight, and it was really funny too, because I had owed somebody some money, and I was just like, "I'm not gonna pay you," and so he was like, "Okay, we're gonna fight," and he was a 5th grader, I'm in the 2nd grade, and so I'm like, "Okay," and now all the kids are outside trying to see us fight and things like that. And he's beating me up. I'm not gonna lie, he's gonna beat me up. Yeah. And
you sound like you had it coming. You owed him you owed him the money.
Yeah, but in the middle, like, there's this kid. He's this black kid. I don't even remember his name. He breaks it up. He's like, "Hey, stop, pause." Because I'm a little kid. I'm 2nd grade. He's 5th grade. He's a lot bigger than I am. And so he's like, he goes in. He shows me a couple moves and things like that. Now I actually know how to move my hands. He's showing me. He's like, "Do this, do this." He's like, "Okay, time back in." And now I get him. Like, I actually got him. Like, it wasn't nothing like, oh yeah, I'm Kung Fu master or nothing like that. But, you know, I was enough to, like, swing on him and I was a fat kid. So I would use weight on him. And so because of that, the 5th graders that, like, really appreciated me. Like, I was always like that kid they would try to be really cool. Like, I'll show you guys all the curse words I know and all that stuff. So like, in the 3rd grade, I started running, like, an extortion scam.
What is that? The leap. Yeah. From fake tattoos to an extortion scam.
Well, the thing is, like, so at that school, everybody had, like, a little hustle. Like, everyone had the little thing where it's like, so Pokemons or Hot Wheel cards or things like that. And so I was friends with the badass little fifth graders, right? And so I was like, hey, we could make some money here.
Right.
And so we charged everyone a tax. And so, and anyone who didn't pay, we fight them. You know, I was an asshole. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So, you know, so like that's like the prologue of all this.
Right.
Like, you know, and my father would encourage all this behavior. Like, like he was a great guy. You know, he's a great father. I mean, he was a great buddy. Maybe a questionable father.
Right.
But eventually, like the custody battle got really bad and things like that, and there may have been some false allegations thrown around here and there. And so my mom moved us to Florida. When we were growing up in New York, my mom's dream was always to own a house in Florida. And so we got here. It was me, my stepdad, my brother, my stepsister, or my little sister, and my mom. We were like 5, 6 of us in like this tiny studio apartment, like probably like a quarter of this room, maybe less.
And your father's still with her?
No, my father's. They separated. Remember custody
Right.
battles?
But you still said he moved.
No, we moved. We moved to Florida.
Oh, your dad didn't move with us. Oh, okay.
No,
I thought you said your dad.
No. But my mom got a restraining order against him.
Oh, okay.
So he wasn't legally allowed to see us and things like that. I didn't know that, and so I was growing up with, your dad doesn't love you, this, all that. You know, she's a kid raising kids.
Yeah,
I love her to death. So it's not like a thing where, I mean, at the time I was like, you know, when I started growing up, 17, 18, I started getting really mad. I left home at 16. It was terrible, but now I love her to death. You know,
where did you guys move in Florida?
We moved to Pinellas Park was where we first started.
Right.
And then after like a year of living in that little studio, she had saved up enough money to rent out a house, and we moved to Kenneth City. So we lived there, and my mom saved up for like 3 years, and she bought a house at the end of the housing crisis.
Okay.
So she like towards like 2011, 2012, she bought a house.
All right.
She got like a 4 or 5 bedroom for $125.
Sheesh.
Yeah, it's like a 6 now because she like remodeled a lot. So it's a 6'2".
Okay.
Yeah, pretty good. And so, you know, I was doing a little bit better in school here. You know, I wasn't being the asshole anymore. You know?
Right.
And I felt bad about all that kind of stuff. You know, I started trying to change a little bit. You know, because I don't have my dad to egg me on anymore, so I got no excuses. And so I started doing like, I'm still acting out, you know. I started smoking cigarettes at 10 years old. But at the same time, I'm taking like all these AP classes and all this other stuff. I'm in the band, you know. I was doing pretty good. My mom kicks my brother out when I was like 15, and so like, and the abuse was pretty bad. You know, she's an immigrant parent. They don't really hold their punches.
Right.
Yeah. So at 16, I left. Yeah, I left home. I started sleeping in like the foreclosed homes, so there was still a lot of those at that time.
Right.
Yeah, it was. And then I saved up for 6 months, and I bought me a fake Social Security card and a fake ID.
Data brokers are middlemen that collect your information online, what you search, watch, or click, and sell it to companies and even government agencies. They're not selling a product, they're selling you. Most everyone's life is online. That's why I use ExpressVPN to keep my data private and protect myself every time I go online. It hides my IP address, which means data brokers can't follow me or figure out where I am. It also encrypts everything I do online. So if I'm on hotel Wi-Fi or coffee shop hotspot, nobody can snoop on me. And it works on all of my devices. Phone, laptop, tablet, just one tap and I'm covered. Right now, plans start at just $3.49 a month. That's about 12 cents a day. So protect yourself like I do. Secure your online data today by visiting expressvpn.com/ITC. That's expressvpn.com/ITC to find out how you can get up to 4 extra months. expressvpn.com/ITC. Okay.
And
Why?
I rented an apartment.
Oh, okay.
You're 16 years old. You can't rent an apartment.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking, did I miss something? Like, were you born in Mexico or so? I thought you were born here.
No,
You
no,
were
no.
born- Okay.
You're 16. You
Okay.
can't rent an apartment.
Right.
I wasn't emancipated. My mom wasn't going to sign that.
Yeah.
And it was basically a runaway. I was doing like nonsense. I did a couple commercial burglaries here and there. I broke into places. It was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
What are the commercial burglaries? What does that consist of?
So there was an abandoned T-shirt shop.
Mm-hmm.
It was over there. It was like on the corner of Gulf to Base, Pink. And we broke into that to steal the T-shirts so I can print them and sell them at the school. So I printed the.
It just seems like that's just being an entrepreneur, isn't it?
Hey,
that's
man. When you got no money, man, you just
Right.
figure it out. Like, I remember stealing batteries and stuff like that and all this other stuff. Like, it's just, shoplifting turned into commercial burglaries. Commercial burglaries turned into, like, way worse. So I've been living by myself at that point for, like a year and a half, 2 years. I was, like, 17 around that time period. And I let a friend live with me. And, like, now, like, things started, like, going down the hill. Like, we started robbing drug dealers and, kicking in doors and doing really nonsense stuff. And it got to the point where, like, it started catching up to us. And, like, we started having street beefs and things like that.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. But it was, at the time, you don't realize what's wrong. Because the thing is, like, you don't get, like, you grew up, it feels like you grew up shitty.
Right.
So you don't really got anything to go off of. And so, like, we moved from my apartment in Clearwater to a house in St. Pete so I could try to go to USF, the St. Pete campus.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we moved, I called up a buddy of mine, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for roommates. I want to go to USF, so you know people that go there. So, like, let me see if you can find somebody. And he gets his girlfriend and her friend, and they move in with me. And we rented a 4-bedroom house by ourselves. Well, the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
So we're living with them, and his girlfriend is a fucking whore. Like, she's like all the bad words, all the bad horror stories you got from your time. Yeah, like from your time in prison where he's like, oh, but I love her.
Yeah.
But I love her. Yeah, it's that. It's exactly that. And so one day she was like, oh, I'm gonna bring a friend over, but don't tell Obi because he's getting he can get jealous. But she could. He was dumb.
I mean,
She decided she wasn't gonna leave the living room type thing. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, yeah, whatever. But then, like, I'm in my
she wasn't gonna
leave the living room area. Like, I thought they were just like doing school stuff or something like that. Like, I thought it was innocent.
Yeah.
And I'm in my room just like moving stuff around, and all of a sudden I hear like moaning in the bedroom, and I'm like, yeah. So I call him up. I was like, hey man, when you get off work, come straight here.
Right.
I need to talk to you. And after I hung up with him, I called up my buddy. I was like, hey man, I got this guy here. What should we do? And he's like, I mean, what should we do? You don't know why you're calling me. Like, pull out a gun. And so I pulled out a gun. But there was a back door on her room, and so he got out that way, and I'm sitting there confused. I'm like, where the fuck is this guy? He's disappeared on me? Like, I don't
understand. What did you do? How did he know that you had a gun? Did you knock on the door?
He did not know he died. He didn't know I had a gun. He was just leaving. He just left out
okay.
the back door so he couldn't be seen. He didn't know I had a gun, but I did.
What were you going to do? Hold him there until...
Probably.
Okay.
I'm not saying I did smart things,
Right.
But I was a dumbass. I'm not claiming to be anything other than that. There have been a lot of times where I did things where, people commit crimes and they don't even realize what it really is.
Right.
Yeah. So like you tell somebody, stand over there.
Yeah. I was just thinking that it's the bank robber that tells a person to move over here or move there or go in that room or what. That's kidnapping.
Yeah.
You just kidnap that person. Now you're hit with that. Now you're looking at 20 or 30 years to charge, and you're like, I just told him to go over there. Right. You
kidnapped
under the threat of being shot. You told him to go in the other room. Kidnapping.
Yep. Yeah. And so like I was doing dumb stuff exactly like that. Where
or these college kids somebody will be on campus and they'll have like a couple signs and they're doing debates, and college kid walks up and they're upset and they'll yank the sign down and tear it up and throw it. And it's like, and then they get arrested. The cop calls the cops. The cops arrest the person. They're like, "What do you mean? You just destroyed someone's property. You just tore it up. You did it on film in front of everybody. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't mean to." Like, boy, consequences.
Yeah. Oh, obviously. And I don't know none of this right now.
Right.
I've yet to have a real encounter with the law. I think at that point, the biggest encounter I had was a jaywalking ticket at 14, which was ridiculous. Like I was crossing the crossroad, and like the light is green, but the little white walk guy isn't on there.
Mhm.
And this Clearwater police guy comes out of nowhere, stops me. I'm walking. I'm 14 years old. Asked me for ID. I had ID, and he's like, and he gives me a ticket for jaywalking. And I didn't pay the ticket. I'm 14 years old. What am I gonna pay with? And so they suspend my driver's license, but I don't even have a driver's license. Like outrageous stuff like that. But that was like the biggest thing we did with like law enforcement at the time. So I don't know none of this stuff. Like I'm new. And so then when the guy gets off work, my buddy, I tell him about everything. He spazzes out, he leaves her finally, there's all this. And then like a week later, I'm having one of my friends sleep over. Like just kick stuff. We're gonna get drunk and just don't drive, right? So and then we wake up in the next morning, and I see a package on the doorstep, and I think this is like really where it really all went downhill. But I see a package on the doorstep. It's a white package, nondescript. It has the address of the home, but it doesn't have the right name. No one by the name lives there. It says like Mark something. There's no Mark there, and so I opened the box up. I would grab a switchblade. I opened the box up. And I was like, there was a bunch of like towels and all this other stuff on top of it. And I'm like, what is this? And then I grab out this like big bag. It was like vacuum sealed. And I'm like, what is this? I mean, I had seen a lot of bud, but not that much. I was a kid. And so grab a switchblade, I cut it open, like, and boy, there was 10 pounds of bud in that box. Just sitting there. I'm just like, I'm thinking, you ever hear those stories where someone sends the box to the wrong address or something like that? This is what I'm thinking. I'm over the moon. I'm like, we just hit the lottery. God loves us. We're doing the greatest things in the world. We're about to hit it big. And I'm yelling. I'm excited. I wake my buddy up and get off the couch. I'm throwing pounds at him. I'm like, let's do this. And the girl, she wakes up and she said, "Do you guys say something about?" But she says it from like a distance. So before she gets there, I put everything on top of a blanket. I'm like, just acting all innocent. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I'm expecting a package with in it. I was like, what? So it turns out that the guy that she was cheating my buddy with, he was a drug dealer. And so he was using her as a mule just to receive the packages, just hold the packages and things like that. I didn't know that. And I yelled at her. I gave her.
I was going to say, at my house, like,
Exactly.
you're going to get us raided.
Yeah, that's exactly what, because remember, this was like
It's like
2017, 2016.
Setting up a fucking ice lab and making ice in the fucking living room. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah. That's what I told her. I was like, I put everything back in the box. I gave her the box. I didn't want the fucking problems. And I was like, look, don't fucking do that shit ever again. I'm not trying to get raided for somebody else's stupidity that I don't got nothing to do with.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gaining anything financially. I'm not getting any money out of this.
Right.
And so we leave it at that. She takes the box, whatever, takes it to the guy, whatever. I remember I told her, I was like, don't fucking do it again. And so she does it again. But this time I was at work when I came home, and I wasn't supposed to be home. I came home early. And no one knew I was there. Like none of my roommates or nothing like that. So I see the box on the doorstep. Shit. I took the box. I'm like, I told you once. I'm not gonna tell you twice.
Right.
And I caught a bus, went to my buddy's house, opened the box, unpacked it. Same exact stuff, towels, dryer vent stuff, all these other things. And so I was like, this is ours now. And that's where I say it really went downhill. So it's just like, after that, I come home, and both of them are there at the house. They're like, oh my God, have you seen a box? I was like, I've been at work all day. I don't know what you're talking about. They're like, have you seen? And they're asking neighbors. They think that maybe that the guy who mows the lawn took it. I don't know nothing.
Right.
I don't know a thing. And she goes around driving around looking for, I don't know what she was looking for, but I guess she was trying to look for leads to find the box. She was driving around erratically. Cops pull her over, and then I don't know how, but she ended up getting Baker acted.
You should start acting crazy, like she could be a harm to herself.
Yeah, so they lock her up for 72 hours. Her family comes to start picking up her stuff because things had already been going downhill long before that.
Right.
So, and when she gets back, I was dating the friend at that point. I started, you're gonna fuck around,
Right.
and so she was gone. I'm like, okay, that's done with. And now I got the house. I brought it back, so she's gone. And I had a couple of zips around, and I put the rest in the attic. And the girl I'm messing around with, she took a picture of me and put it on social media without me knowing, like I was asleep. She put like the on top of me. She's like, when the plug says he's on the way, but he's really nappy. And I had no knowledge of this. I don't find out about this till later.
Right.
So she gets out. She comes back. She says, let me find a couple things. I'm not paying any attention to it. I'm like, okay. And then she leaves. And at this point, now I'm moving all my stuff into her room. Like, well, she had the nice room. I got a back door, bigger room. I'm having fun. And I got a little dog with me, my little dog. And dog starts barking at the door. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, 3 guys walk in the house. Guns up. It was 2 black guys, a white guy. They're talking crazy. I'm yelling at them. I'm like, get the fuck out of my house. Young stuff. You're braver than you think you are.
Yeah.
And so, they got guns on me and things like that. They try hitting me with the guns. I'm still yelling at them. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. All this other stuff. And they're like, they start telling me this whole thing about the weed and this and that. We know you got it, this and that. And they go back and forth for a while. And they don't find shit except like a couple of ounces I had on the table.
Right.
And so I just yelling at them and all this. And eventually they leave. They tied me up, and I'm just like, what the fuck was that? Well, it turns out that the girl, when she came, she dropped her keys on the driveway so that they could pick it up. Because I had caught it on camera.
Okay.
Yeah, so she had dropped her keys on the driveway, and then when they guys pulled in, they pulled in and they just grabbed the keys because they didn't break the door. They just unlocked it.
Right.
Yeah. So because if it would have been breaking in, I would have been find out. That's why the dog was barking. It was really fucking a whole thing. And I was like, what the fuck? And it took a while to piece everything together. And we started getting threats because they didn't find all the weed and all this other stuff. And then like they broke in. And so, like, at this point, they broke in again, like a second time, but I wasn't home. I started getting mad. I'm like, I'm gonna find out where they live. And so I sent a girl to go, hang out with them, little ruse, just like, oh, I want to see you, smoke me out, this and that. And so she finally gives me the address. And so we go there, and I was thinking there'd be people home. It was like 2, 3 p.m. Wasn't anybody home. So we went around the house, and the screen door was open. And so we walked in. And as soon as we walked in, I was like, shit. This was back then when they had they didn't have the decentralized cameras where it's like the cloud storage.
Right.
So you still had the boxes. So they had cameras around the place. So we took the box with us, and they had I think it was at the time 7 pounds of bud, 3 slabs of wax, and 3 pounds of shrooms, something like that. And we took all that too. Like, fuck these guys. And it was just going back and forth, nonsense. Eventually, like, they hit us, we hit them, they hit us, we hit them. And they never see each other.
Right.
We always miss each other. And then, like, when finally, like, I had started putting trackers on their cars and stuff like that because there was, like new stuff. You're watching YouTube trying to figure stuff out. Like, so how does a private detective do it?
Right.
Like, how do these people track these things? So I found those trackers with the magnets. Like, and we put on the cars. We put on their car. We followed. Like, we hit their house again to see where they would go. And so we saw they went to like this mansion in St. Pete. And when they did, we're like, okay, that's the spot. We're gonna hit them.
What do you think's there?
It was like a mini mansion, so I'm thinking it's more drugs.
Oh, okay.
More drugs, maybe money. So like at this point, we'll hit this and we'll be done with it. Because at this point, I was going off the trail. I'm thinking we're going to make a whole business of robbing these guys. We're going to have product at all the times. I'm fucking delusional. Absolutely delusional. And
my business model is continuing to rob the exact same drug dealers.
The exact same ones. I mean, hey.
I mean, at some point, I would think that they're gonna be waiting for you. You know, at some point.
At some point, I mean, I was waiting for them, and
Yeah.
they never. It's you tell people like, "Hey, pull up on me. I'm right here at this address." If they're really about it, they're going to pull up. So at this point, it's like, because I was just angry at the world. I was angry at myself. I was just mad about life in general. And I was a young kid with no guidance and just willing to do anything to look cool. So that was even worse. So like, I got friends around me, like male friends around me that are willing to follow me into the house, and I'm willing to be the guy that is the first one in the house. Like that much of a dumbass.
Do you guys watch the house for a little bit, or what do you do?
We usually try to like watch the house to see routines. And so if we got the routine down that it was like, okay, there's nobody home, then we do like a soft test. So it would usually be like a disguise, dress up as an electrician or a thing, put a clipboard on, safety vest.
Would the guy call it a Bob knock?
Yeah.
Knock on the door, ask for Bob.
Yep.
Yeah, mine was Cheryl. They were Cheryl or Kevin.
Right.
Yeah, and so nobody was there. Boom, hit him again. And even if there was there, I was waiting for somebody to be there. I always had like a pair of brass knuckles on me because I was mad at these people. One of the time they broke in, my dog had escaped, and so I was just rampant about that. That was the only thing I had for like 6 or 7 years or something.
Right.
Like that. And so like at that point, mind you, I've left my mom's house. I'm not talking to my family anymore. All I'm doing is either working, going to school, or committing crimes. Like, so literally I've got nothing for orientation or guidance, and I'm just like really on the deep end. And it's only getting worse. It's only getting way worse. And so we go and we see that mansion, right? So I don't want to.
Yeah, that mini mansion.
Yeah, the mini mansion.
Yeah.
Right. So we're back to it. Yeah. So that mini mansion was like on a channel. So on the other side of that channel was an apartment complex. So I put
Where is this? This is still
St. Pete.
Okay.
This was like St. Pete.
Yeah. They have the finger. What they call them? The fingers. They
like a fingers type deal.
Yeah, they have they have those entire like subdivisions that they look like they're just like long pieces of land where they just build house. They're on canals. They're canals, but they're straight. They call there's ones over here they call they call them like the fingers. I forget what they call them, the such and such thing, because they look like just like fingers. They're just.
Is it like mangroves? Like mangrove?
No, they're subdivisions,
no, I know
but
what
they
are,
have channels
I'm saying the
for
name.
boats.
I'm saying the name. I know what you're talking about because this is literally that.
Yeah. Well, they have them. I guess they have them everywhere. But
yeah. So they had that in St. Pete, and so the way we figured is like, okay, if we do a direct approach, it's too suspicious in this really nice neighborhood. The best way to do it would be to go from the apartment complex that's like directly across the channel, swim across the channel, and then go in the backyard because you're right there. And so,
some Mission Impossible.
I mean, it's not that far a swim.
I
mean, it's not that far a swim. I mean,
still, most people aren't going to swim. Most people aren't going to do this at all. But I was going to say they're going to maybe try and go in the front, but to get to the back, swimming across the channel like that, nobody's expecting that.
But that little detail right there, that swimming, saved me fucking 10, 20 years in prison right there.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure. You go in the front, there's all kinds of issues with neighbors and everything.
Oh, well, so 2 of us had to swim. I can't swim, or I can't swim well. So I'm not swimming. So I have to pull up in the front with the car and just sit there. And once they give me the signal, I'll come in too.
Okay.
Have support.
How do you not know how to swim? You got to learn how to swim.
I know how to swim now.
Well, okay. Just saying, what if you take a cruise? What if something happens?
I mean, now I do.
Okay.
At the time, I didn't. I didn't like the beach. I still don't like the beach. I think it's overrated. I think lakes and rivers are nicer.
I agree.
Like sand, salt water. I mean,
yeah, it's never as good as it seems.
No. I mean, it's terrible. But yeah, and so these guys they're swimming across this thing, and they're taking forever. They're taking a really long time. And so I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm thinking like they already made it in. They're being held at gunpoint. I'm thinking all these kinds of crazy ass thoughts. So, and I had a gun. And so I go in like through the front but like on the side on the gate, you know how all the Florida houses have these gates where
Yeah.
you can reach the latch over on the top. So I reach the latch over on the top. I get in there, and they're just getting out of the canal. So I'm like, okay, and we don't see anybody in the house. We don't see anything like that. So we go to the screen door. Everyone leaves their screen doors in Florida open.
Mm.
I don't know why. It's the dumbest stuff in the world.
Not me.
Oh yeah, you
Not me, bro. I got a piece of fucking wood in that thing. You ain't getting even this door. You better throw a brick through it or something because I got the big piece of wood at the bottom. You can't even.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not an unsuspecting Floridian.
No. I lock my door constantly. Lock the door. Walk into the truck and back. I'm locking the door.
We're exactly alike.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I don't want to not get the drop on me.
Yeah.
I lock my locker. If I'm going to the bathroom and I come back, I lock my locker. Going to heat something up in the microwave and going to heat. I lock my locker. This is in prison because they're just waiting for you to slip.
Oh yeah. I mean, even if you know where everything is, it's like. But I mean, I just want to make it clear though, because these are scumbag activities. These are very degenerate activities. But I don't know. I always made rules for myself when I was stealing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It was that I would never rob from friends or family. Right. I would never steal from people who couldn't afford it, and I would never take too much. Don't ever be too greedy. Those are the three things. Don't do those things. Because that's how people get. One, that's how people get caught. That's also how people burn bridges, and and people who can't afford it will chase you down until the end of eternity to find you.
Right.
So I used to stay in those rules, and I would never steal from a civilian or anything like that. Corporations or criminals.
Right.
Sometimes it's the same. But
So what happened? You're in the backyard. Your buddy's got out of the canal.
yeah, I'm in the backyard. We go in the house. We're like going through all the doors and going through all the rooms and things like that. No one's home. We find like a sawed-off shotgun in the bedroom. We find there's a safe.
It's an extra charge.
Yeah. Believe me, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we find a safe in the closet, but it was like a gun safe. But problem with safes, if you take them with you, is the smartest way to do it. If you were in that lifestyle. Because the thing is, why are you going to spend 30 minutes, an hour there trying to break into the safe?
How big is the safe?
It's a gun safe.
Like a big gun safe? Because you can have like a small ones where you have like a handgun.
No, like rifle size.
Oh, okay. So that's hard to even take with you.
Well, I mean, you can.
Yeah,
They're not that heavy usually. I mean, most of it's just sheet metal. That's the problem. Like a lot of people think it's like I bought this big safe. It's all this thing. It's like no, it's not. It's bullshit. Like if you just take an angle grinder to the bottom, I opened it.
Right.
So that's
So you guys took it?
We tried to.
Okay.
They bolted it to the ground in the corner, and so like if anyone wants to avoid having their safe taken, put it in a corner and bolt it to the ground.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Can't take it. We tried. We tried really fucking hard.
Right.
So we can't get anything. I don't want anything from this fucking house that's not guns or drugs or money.
Right.
Right. So I let my buddy have the sawed-off shotgun, and he also stole like a bunch of jewelry and stuff like that. And we leave. Right. So, mind you, my buddy goes fishing, or not fishing, swimming back to where he originally jumped off. Me and my brother, we go in a car. In the car I came in.
Mm-hmm.
So one guy, this is an important detail on that one. So one guy walks on in the camera, and two guys walk out. So we leave. My buddy, the one who was swimming, it was his car. I told him before, take the license plates off and switch them out with someone else's license plates.
Right.
Yeah. So that way we don't get caught. Dumbass didn't fucking do that. And so eventually, friendly neighbor, heroic neighbor,
Damn do-gooders. Right.
Yeah, heroic neighbor wrote down the plates. He was like, "This car doesn't belong in this neighborhood. This is really weird."
Yeah.
Police come investigate. They wrote down the license plate. They start tracking it. This is what was wild to me is that the amount of effort they put into and just instead of just arresting us, like just outright, because you had the car belongs to him. Arrest, right?
Right.
These guys, it was St. Pete police. They put trackers on the car Like they had like a whole time log of everywhere the car went,
Right.
and all this other stuff, and they arrested the guy who stole the jewelry, right? The one I said keep the jewelry in the sawed off. I don't want that.
Right.
They arrested him, and because he went to a pawn shop to try to go sell it like a dumbass, fake jewelry, and so they follow him to the pawn shop. They ask to go in the pawn shop. They ask him, what did you show him? It matches up with what was stolen. And then they ask a regular patrol officer to pull him over, initiate a search and all that stuff. What turns out, it was an illegal search. Turns out because you're not supposed to stop a car with a patrol officer unless it's an actual traffic offense, and there was no traffic offense cited at all.
Okay.
That's what the lawyer told me.
All right.
So we get arrested. They get arrested first. My brother's with him in the car. And then that's like probably around 1 p.m. And then around midnight, 3 a.m. type stuff. Because I was working at that time at a print shop. I'm doing design. It was Hit Promotional. I don't know if you know it. It's like one of the biggest promotional product companies in America. Mm-mm. It's over there in Clearwater. They have like 5 really, really big factories. And so I'm in there. And at the time, I was doing college work for people. I was getting paid to do their chemistry stuff because I was really good at chemistry and social studies and stuff like that. So I had slacked on this one guy's stuff, and I hadn't done it all semester. And I was like midterms, and he had paid me like $300. And so I'm at work. Instead of doing work, I'm on the computer like doing the college work, right? And these guys come into the office, gangbusters, and like unknown uniformed officers, but just like regular dressed people, telling me, "Hey, Darius, Solis, stand up, get away from the desk." I'm looking at these guys like I don't know what the fuck is going on. I thought it was IT. I don't know what's going on. I was like, I swear to God, it's just college work. Like you can look at the computer, and they're like, stand up, put your hands behind your back. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm really confused. They wouldn't tell me anything. They wouldn't tell me a single thing. Well, the worst part about it was that was a really good job. I really loved it. And so the office is located in the center of the factory. So they cuffed me in the center of the factory, walked me through the whole factory, took the long way around just to take me to their cars and let everyone see, like, look at this guy.
Right.
Or perp walk, right?
Yeah. And
so they finally get me to the car, and they're like, we've arrested your brother and your friends and such and such. And I was like, they're like, are you going to talk to us? Like, at this point, I don't know what this is about. They haven't told me. So, all the fucking dumb shit we've done so far. I mean,
right. You're still not putting it together with the house?
Well, not even. I mean,
right.
How much other stuff we've done.
Right.
We were selling bud. We had, a sawed-off shotgun in the house. We robbed those guys multiple times. I've done commercial burglaries with these guys.
Right.
We've done a lot of crimes together at this point. So at this point, it's just like,
better.
To be more specific.
Yeah.
And so then they finally tell me, so you're going to tell us you don't know such and such? And they start showing me pictures of people, and I was like, ooh.
Oh, that's what this is about. Yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah. And so finally I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. All I got is time is to go home and to work. I don't know nothing. I know absolutely. I was like, oh, that's the way it's going to be? And I left this part out, but I had gotten arrested prior to that by FHP. I had like almost 20 pounds of and a 44 Magnum that I had stole and different things like that. And that case got dropped. Like nothing ever happened to that case because I don't know why. They said due to lack of evidence. We never got Mirandized. Maybe it had something to do with it. I don't know what the procedural stuff.
Okay.
My lawyer said that FHP is like the most likely to get cases dropped or lost because of fucking bad procedural activities. This is what I was told. So we never figured it out. So when she gets me in the car, she's like, okay, this isn't going to be like the FHP case. This isn't going to get dropped. I was like, oh, okay. You guys are actually after me. Right. you guys are keeping track. And so they get me into the county jail, and I see all the other 2 guys, and I'm like, okay, so it's all 3 of us, and we're talking. We're like, the fuck,
right?
And Pinellas County Sheriff is like, don't talk to each other. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, you sit over there. Like it's gonna do anything.
Yeah.
We go for first appearance, and which was crazy to me, was like the whole thing we talk about, where like you don't know like what you're doing when you're really doing it. So they're like, armed burglary is the charge I'm getting charged with, and it's like $150,000 bond. I'm just like, what is this? Like, what do you mean?
Right.
I'm just thinking it's a regular burglary, but because guns were involved, it's an armed burglary because they stole the sawed-off shotgun and different things like that. I was like, what's on here? It's
He's like, because they stole.
yeah, I got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, you did. You were all in the house. You were all together.
Yeah.
That's how they look at it.
That's how they look at it. I didn't want none of that shit. And the worst part about it was, I didn't know about it at the time, but the guy who swam across the river, who grabbed all the stuff, and that was his stuff. The guy is like, my brother and him get arrested in the car. They take him to the police station. That guy walks into the interrogation room, sings like a canary, puts everything on me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not knowing any of this. Well, mind you, we were like friends in middle school. We grew up together. I'm thinking like, oh, is everything shared? Everything's good. I'm just keeping quiet. I say nothing, absolutely nothing, which will save me at the end. And so he's singing, and not just singing, joking, laughing, high fiving. I saw the interrogation video. Didn't even take 2 seconds. It was It goes to show you. Can't trust scumbags, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm thinking that everyone's staying quiet, this and that, and then so like I get $150,000 bond. My brother gets $150,000 bond. The guy
ROR.
The guy gets a $2,500 bail.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I don't know.
Right? But I don't know nothing about this. I just thought because me and my brother are Hispanic, I think he's white. It's because he's white.
Right. As he said. Can you imagine? Well, how come you guys, white privilege? It's a different bail system for us.
Yeah. That's why I was like, I get it.
Didn't even question it. Didn't even question it. Makes sense.
I mean, come on. I mean, I've been pulled over for jaywalking at this point. Like, I was like, I can believe it. And so like, but these guys, like, he took it next level scumbag though. I mean, like, if that was it, that would have been fine. He bonds out, right? Goes to my house, sells all my stuff.
That's right. The problem is you're playing a game by rules that nobody else is playing by.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was even worse because I had the girl I was dating who was living with me at the time, right? I had told her some like really fucked up lies. I ruined her life eventually, like in total, like after everything. And like if she's ever watching this, I'm apologize. I really ruined her life. But I had been lying about all the things that I did to ruin her life. And so they told her so that she wouldn't support me in county jail. So like they don't want to have no one to write letters from me or things like that in front of the judge. And they're just looking for every way to fucking screw us.
This is the cops.
No.
Or your buddy.
Yeah, the buddy, the scumbag. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like you said, playing by rules when no one else is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up learning that. Yeah. And so they basically like ruin everything I could possibly imagine before I get out. I get a lawyer.
Do you get out?
I do get out.
Okay.
Yeah,
you get a bond.
Yeah.
Or you get it lowered and then you get a bond.
So like if you're 3 co-defendants on the same case, same criminal history, right? Same everything. There's no reason why one person has a lower bond than the other 2.
Okay.
At least not without outright saying cooperation, which they did not go forward to say until discovery was released.
Right.
So they lowered my bond to $25,000. Matched it. And so I've worked hard to get a lawyer for my brother now because my mom hired a lawyer for him. Absolute drug addict. It was like, we're gonna plead in front of the mercy of the court. It's like we're gonna do an open plea.
That's a horrible idea.
Not only my mom told me he would come, like he would call her at like random hours of the day and like, meet me in a parking lot. I need $500. Like, and she's like he would look all drugged up, and I don't know where she got this lawyer. She said she found him on Google with 5 stars. I was like, that's the first time I learned. I was like, don't hire lawyers off the internet. Like, get a referral. Always get a referral. Like, I don't know about you, but I'd say get a referral.
Right.
And so I get out. When he tells me, it's like, I'm pleading in front of the mercy of the court. I was like, man, fire that man right now.
Right.
Like, do not go into that courtroom and plead in front of the mercy of the court. Refuse. When they say call you up for court, just say I refuse. Like, do not go. Do not go at all costs. He doesn't go. He keeps refusing. They try to drag him in front. And like I tell him, like, if they try to drag you in front, do something to get sent to solitary or something. Don't go. And he does. And so I ended up hiring a really, really great attorney for him. It was I'll give him a shout out right now. It's Justin Reap out of fucking Pinellas County. That guy is the bomb. Like, really the bomb. If anyone's in trouble in Pinellas County, this is like the biggest thing you can get from him. But because he ended up being my family attorney after a while. Just too much dumb shit. But so this guy was a former prosecutor, as they all are, and he starts going like really looking over the evidence. And my attorney is like letting him do all the work. Is like, do all the work, send it to me, and I'll do it on my case as well.
Right.
And so he's like, he gets the video from Discovery, and in the video he's like, one guy goes in, two guys goes out, they arrest three. It's impossible. It couldn't happen. Shout out to him, man. He really believed one of us was innocent. I don't know why, but hey, man, shout out to him. He fought it tooth and nail and then ended up getting dropped down. So we never talked. We never said anything. We always said, I want my lawyer. I don't know what you're talking about. And so we never had any testimony for us personally admitting any fault. We ended up getting the charge dropped to misdemeanor trespassing, $500 fine.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bro, shout out to him. That's why I'm shouting him out, man. Yeah, so misdemeanor trespassing, $500 fine. And that's for both of us.
Right.
And my buddy, the scumbag who snitched, he admitted fault because he was taking a plea deal. He went to prison for a fucking year. It's the only fucking silver lining. I mean...
Did you send him money on his books? You go
shit.
See him, write a letter.
I don't know.
Hey, bro, here's my dismissal.
You know how bad it was? This guy, so I was trying to get my brother a bond because I was already out. So if I know that you got to lower my bond, you got to lower his bond. He has no criminal history, right? They go to the prosecutor and they tell him some wild story about how we have ties to organized crime and things about kidnapping and this and other stuff, which none of it was true. Although they could have used other things, but none of that was specifically true.
Right.
The judge is flabbergasted. She's like, this is wild allegations. If you have any proof to substantiate this. And they're like, I'm the DA filling in for the other guy. The other guy's on vacation. She's like, look, you got 1 week to present me any evidence. If not, I'm going to lower his bond. And
right.
They couldn't. It was all bullshit. This is this guy, right? Like he gave away one of his kids. Like, he was like a terrible person. When they arrested me and they tell me this isn't gonna be like the last case,
right?
I was like, okay, there's a track record running here. Like, they're just trying to get me now. Yeah. So, like, even before I pled out, because it was taking forever. My lawyer was dragging it forever. I don't know why. So I left and I went to New York while I was on bond, and I was living with my father and I was living with my brother. He had already settled his case like way before mine. And so, like, we're over there, we're running the women, like the hostess bars I was telling you. So, like, we started out, my father, like, after my mother and him split, like, he fell, like, off a cliff, like, his ability to do stuff. I don't know what it was, whether it was his energy, whether it was the long, prolonged legal battles, whether it was, like, not having his kids around. We fell into, like, a really bad depression. And so when I came around, he had only had, like, 10 working girls for him, like, at the time. And when I was in the jail, like, I don't know if you believe this stuff. You know, I'm kind of iffy about it myself, but you know, I give it some leeway. But I had a dream, right? And in the dream, it told me that I was gonna go to New York and I was gonna change that whole industry and put it into like the 21st century. Like, it was like something completely different. And you get those vivid dreams in jail, prison.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think that was related to God or anything.
I never said God.
Okay, I don't see God. Listen.
No, I never said God.
I know. I'm just saying. To me, I was thinking about divine intervention. So just letting you know, I don't think God.
No.
You were thinking.
I think.
And God told me you're going to come up with an app. the girls will sign into the app, and it will track the movement.
So yeah, but no, I think like when it comes to like that kind of thing, I think it's more like yeah, like like astral projection or something like that. Like your consciousness is traveling either through whatever fabric where this is, and you might see glimpses because some people like see wild things in their dreams, and they're like, oh, I saw this thing or I saw that thing. Now maybe it was me manifesting that dream into reality, and it's something completely different. I don't know, but I saw in a dream. I would see myself going up to New York, doing a business that I had personally no experience with. Like I didn't run the girls when I was a child.
Right.
So, and then I was going to change it and put it into a world where it was something that I was aware of. And so when I went up there and I get the lay of the land, my father's showing me the business and things like that. Now, mind you, like my father is like a womanizer. Like he's,
I'm assuming.
like he's really good.
Right.
Yeah. Like he can charm like basically anyone.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not. I'm growing up this angry little kid who's like doesn't like to talk to people. I'm not, so I got to start learning how to talk to people.
Right.
I watch him. I watch these videos on YouTube, and I started like I wasn't watching like the pickup date those guys. I was watching this other guy's Charisma Command. This guy he basically takes interviews of people and he breaks down all the good things and bad things they do. So it's like Chris Hemsworth. He's like, look how he compliments their compliment, or look how he brushes it off and raises other people's platform and things like that. And so you're like, okay, these are good techniques. And so I'm doing that. I'm watching what he does, because all the girls are like, oh, he's so serious. Like he never talks to no one. It's because I don't fucking know what the fuck to say. I'm shy. I'm like, God, like I remember I was dancing with a girl, and I look at her, and all I could say was, "Oh, you're so pretty," like a fucking buffoon.
Right. That might work though. That's
it. Typically does, and if it does, it's like you're shooting arrows on the side of a bar. Like, come on, like, and so. It was doing terrible. My father gets to the point where he looks at me. He's like, "Hey, you got to tighten up, or you can't be in this business because they're gonna eat you alive." Like these women were savages. Like,
right.
When I say savages, I'll give you an example. There was one girl. She was very beautiful, very pretty. Big ass, big tits, all that. And she would run this scam every year where she would be talking and fucking around with like 10 different guys. And she'll tell them each that she's pregnant and she needs $1,000 for the abortion. And then so like they'll all send her the money, and she'll go vacation all winter in Dominican Republic until the coast is clear. And she got me with that one once. I didn't give her the money because she was like
I'm gonna be a dad.
No, she was building it up, but because like she has to make it believable for everyone else. So
right.
If anybody else asks them, they'll be like, yeah. Because I got to the point I asked my dad, I was like, she says she's pregnant. We can't have her in the bar drinking alcohol. Right. He's looking at me all confused. He's like,
our vacation
this
days are
bitch
coming.
does this shit every fucking year.
Right.
Like, yeah. And I mean, you get to a point where like the connivingness of these women is like really entertaining. Like, and so like the women, that same woman, I seen her in one punch knock out men and then run their pockets when they're like on the ground, like knocked out, like just take their wallets, everything. It's outrageous. And this is the typical Bronx, New York woman. Like this is project babies. Like this is not great. And so like this is my my target practice. So as you could say. And we're he's showing me the ropes. I'm following him around. My brother's driving another van full of women. And slowly but surely, like we're getting more women. And then like I start doing social media marketing for the nightlife. And
right.
So I'm doing these ads where it's like, oh, make $800 a week just dancing, not like normal dancing, and things like that. Because at the end of the day, like we're not making these women sell their bodies. They're selling their bodies as it is. Like that's just their choice. We know we don't force anybody to do anything. We're just literally like, you already do this business. Okay, we're gonna drive you around, give you protection, and have it organized. And that's it. We're not personally telling any woman, because you have these like this stereotype of what a pimp is, and like yes, those exist. Like the guy who beats women and things like that. I've never laid a hand on a woman.
Right.
Like this is not good business. Like you have 3 women that might work for you because they're like cowardly dogs. Like you're like, you don't do that. You treat people like you're equals. You pay them more than you make, and you keep everything going happy at the end of the day. Like you're making a small percentage, like an agent for a musician. You're making a percentage.
Right.
You're not forcing the guy into the studio. You're not Suge Knight.
I hear you. Feel like people are gonna think differently though, but I hear you.
I mean, hey, I can think what they want, but. So we're doing that, and then like slowly but surely we're getting more girls. So like the way we like the clubs work, there's Stamford in Connecticut, and then there was the clubs right over the border in New York and Port Richey. So in Connecticut, the clubs close at 2, at the most, and then in Port Richey, they close over at what is it, like 5, 6, sometimes 7 in the morning, depending if the cops didn't bother them. And so we would take girls to Connecticut, and then the girls that wanted to continue working, we would take them to another club in Port Richey, and then the arrested girls in the other van will drop them off home. Every girl will get dropped off home. Most women don't have cars in New York, so it's like it's a plus on the transportation side, right?
Right.
And so we're doing that. We've been doing it. We're doing it pretty good. The whole time I'm dealing with all these shenanigans, like really deal shenanigans. Like these women they'll tell this guy like, look, give me all your paycheck, and I'm gonna go home with you at the end of the night. Wait for me out front. I just need to get paid from these guys. She goes out the back door.
Right.
She's waiting in the van, just chilling. One time it happens. It's like this girl had tricked this giant Trinidad dude, like really big, like like. I'm 6'2", this guy had to be 6'7".
Right.
And I guess he was smarter than the average guy. And so she goes out the back door, gets on the thing. The guy's waiting at the front door. Remember, we locked the front door, of course, so more drunks don't come in and start, causing commotion, start trying to buy alcohol, get them out, get everybody out. We can't be open past a certain hour. You get fined, or you might lose your liquor license. So this guy, my job was to corral all the women into the vans and make sure that they're not over there like sucking off some dude in like a car, because they'll go do that, make their extra little money, and then we'll be driving back to New York, and they'll be like, "Hey, you left me." I was like, "Look here, we didn't leave anybody. Like you was out there doing extracurricular activities that we do not endorse." So,
right.
And so, so I'm corralling. Right, and I just make sure I count the heads like sheep. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so I'm talking to one van, and all of a sudden I see another van on the side, like just shaking. I'm like, God damn it, these bitches are fighting again. Like these women, like they fight. Like,
right.
Yeah. So I go over there to see what's going on, and I see this giant Trinidad. Like, so it was an Econoline, the 16 passenger vans that you guys use those for transport.
Yeah.
Yeah. So has that walking space by the wheel well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was in that walking space because the girl was all the way in the back seat trying to drag her out to get his money back. I was like, oh. I grab the guy by the collar. I pull him out of the car. He's crouched over, so he has no real balance, right? So it's easier for me to drag him out. At that point, my dad comes out. My dad he's slightly shorter than me. He's probably like I'm 6'2", so he's probably like 5'10", 5'9", maybe.
Okay.
And so, but he's like this big burly guy. So like when I was young, he was strong, but now he's like pudgy. He's big,
right.
But he's spent all his life in nightclubs yelling at people. So he's got this like deep voice like that, and he got these fucking bare hands for for a human being. And so he's like, I get him down. The guy stands up, and then my dad gets in the middle. He's like, "If you want to touch my son, you got to put between me," and type shit, like real thick voice.
Right.
And so, like this is just like painting a picture of like what this environment is. Like we're manhandling people every weekend. Like every weekend, it gets outraged. But once you get like really good at a job, it gets to a point where like, because they have regulars, so like those they won't bother you.
Right.
So they'll have friends there that they know from outside the bar and be like, he's causing problems. Like, hey, calm down. Like, this is not the place to do that. So like after a while, you get it underhand. Sometimes you get new guys that no one knows, and he cause a problem because there's mostly that these are immigrant bars. So, so you're talking about a lot of Guatemalans, a lot of Dominicans, a lot of Puerto Ricans, like a lot of everything. And you're like, this, all the women are also fucking mostly either immigrants, children of immigrants, but all Hispanic. So occasionally you get like a white girl or something like that, which was really weird, but they were raised around Hispanics.
Right.
And so you're doing all this stuff. It's pretty entertaining. It's pretty entertaining. You have like a lot of fun. There's also a lot of pain in the ass, like women fighting you. It's not the greatest. But we did that for 3 years, and my father's doing 40, so it's not, the 3 years is nothing. But we blew it up though. The Instagram marketing worked, the Facebook marketing worked. Everything was doing really well. I wake up in the morning answering phone calls, sending text messages. Send me a picture, how you look, how old are you, this and that. You know, I mean, the age was because of two things. Can't have minors. You know, they got to be able to drinking age.
Right.
And then the second one was they can't be too old. Yeah. Because there's been women that were like, they started out, because that industry has existed forever. The hostess, like basically bar hostess type deal. And so you have women that are like 50 years old trying to still do this stuff. Like a lot of people say it's like, oh, if these women had better opportunities. Not the case.
Right.
I know one of the girls married like a really rich dude. He gave her a Maserati. This girl would drive the Maserati to this like slummed out fucking nightclub to go sell pussy. Like no one's forcing her. Like
right.
Yeah. So like this is enjoyment. Like, that's what it is for them. And so we do that for 3 years. We do really well. It gets to a point where like we're managing 3 clubs. So there's 2 clubs in Connecticut. There's Discovery and Cafe Luna, and then there's Yoma's and Port Richey. And so we're managing all 3 of them. We're collecting like about 8% off the total sales of nights. These bars are making crazy drinks. Because the thing is, we will train the women. So a person can only drink so much alcohol, right?
Right.
Right. So what you do is you make the drinks disappear. So they'll have the girls work in twos. So one girl will be like, oh, let me go dance. And she takes the guy to go dance. And while the girl's out dancing, they'll take the beers off the table and throw them in the trash. And then oh my God, they throw our beers away. We have to buy more beers. And that's more money for the girls.
Right.
And then like guys will catch on. Because the whole thing is, in Japan, the hostess bar thing is, they know that it's like kind of like, oh yeah, nonchalant type deal. You know, they understand it's companionship. In the Latin American communities, they understand what the game is, but they want to get these women so drunk that they forget that the women forget what the game is. And yeah, it's not yeah. But and so like they'll be like, oh no, we're taking our beers with us to the dance floor because it's happened to them before, right? So the guys force them to bring the beers, and so like the girls will be like, okay, just spin me around, and when she's spinning around, she's spilling beer on the floor. So like if you were walking into a nightclub and the floor is all sticky,
right?
That's why.
Okay.
Yeah. So like your feet sticking to the ground and things like that. We got to a point where I personally was making like $1,200, $2,000 a night, like every night, 7 nights a week.
Right.
It was pretty good. But then the pandemic hit. Like we were in between contract negotiations with one of the clubs, and then the pandemic hit, and we decided we're we're gonna go visit family for this little bit. So we visited my father's brothers, my uncles in Georgia, and then we started seeing the videos in New York. Like the videos in New York started getting like really, really bad. Like so I don't know how familiar are you with the New York area?
Not very.
Not really. So there's an area called Pelham in New York. That's like where all like the really, really rich people like Hillary Clinton. Oscar de la Renta, like all these people own homes in these are multi-million-dollar homes, you know, tens of millions of dollars in some cases. Not even mansions, just like really regular homes, but it's just the comparable home sale value of each individual one that drives it all the way up. And they have their own private police force, even though it's like not even a real city.
Mm-hmm.
It's called they're not even called police officers. They're called constables.
Right.
Yeah. So when I saw we were in Georgia, and I see videos of the military in the street in that area, like locking people in their houses and making sure people can't leave and things like that. I was like, oh, this is gonna get really bad. Like, they're locking the rich and powerful away. And so like then we started seeing videos like on social media and stuff like that where it was military troops in the bad neighborhoods in New York. Nobody was allowed to leave their house. Started seeing the videos of there's the container trucks or the refrigerator trucks where they were storing bodies because it was getting really, really bad in New York. It was terrible. So I was like, we're gonna just wait this out. And so like a month or two turned into two into four, four into six into eight, and all of a sudden you're here a year, right? So like halfway through the year, I had already have a bunch of money saved up, like 15, 20,000, something like that. And I decided I'm gonna do something with this money because if I don't do something with it, I'm gonna lose it.
Right.
So I buy into a restaurant. Right. One of my uncles, he had a restaurant that he bought into it with his daughter, and she died, and so he didn't have the heart for it anymore. He was wild drunk, wild drunk. He ruined the restaurant's reputation. He would pull his dick out and piss in the fucking bar. It was terrible.
Okay. Yeah. So you start running the restaurant?
Yeah, so I bought him out, and I started running the restaurant for just trying to change the reputation of the place. But no one understood what the pandemic was gonna do. So I'm thinking that is it gonna last for when it lasts, and I can pick it up. And there was times I picked it up. When I ran the books, he was supposedly making $5,000 a month. On the restaurant, profit, and abandonness. I'm like, no one walks in this thing. People would walk into the restaurant. It's are you guys open? There's no cars in the parking lot.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, if he's making $5,000 like this, and these numbers are correct, then okay, let me buy into it. So I can do way better than 5,000. It's a slim margin, but I can do way better. And I started picking it up, and we're doing really good. It got to a point where we're doing lunches, $3,000 lunches. We're really, really good. There's a big parking space. There's a lot of tables. We can serve people. And we weren't making the bills. We were falling behind every month, $5,000, $10,000. It turns out my uncle was cooking the books because he's a loan shark. And so he was
laundering the money?
He was laundering the money through the restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's common with laundromats and stuff, guys.
Restaurant, cash.
Yeah. Yeah, you've heard Colby's. I have a buddy who his father retired and took his retirement money and bought a laundromat because the books on the laundromat were amazing. I mean, he felt like he was getting a deal. This thing's making a profit of, let's say it's making a profit of $100,000 a year. He buys it for $300,000, right? So thinking to himself, I'll make my money in 5 years. That's a reasonable return. I'll make all my money back in 3 years, and then I have a profitable business. And he goes in and starts running it, takes it over, and starts running it, and it's losing money.
All right.
It's not much, but like 1,000 or so. But he's like, okay, this is something's wrong. So he thinks everybody's stealing. So he kind of fires everybody. He runs some ads. He fires everybody. Starts doing all the hours himself, and he gets it up to where it's maybe it's going to make $40,000 or something like that. A year or something, maybe 50. But he's working everything. Where the guy's books before was he was pocketing $100,000 doing nothing. Yep. So after a year or two, his father was retired and he just can't run it anymore. He ends up either closes it or sells it. And after he'd sold it, a few years later, he was reading the newspaper, and the guy he had bought it from had been arrested for money laundering, and he'd been running I don't know if it was cartel money or what, through multiple laundries for decades. He would go in, he'd open up 5 or 6 of these things, start laundering money through them, build up the books over a couple of years, and then sell them. So the money he's really making is a huge portion on the sale because they appear to be profitable.
Yeah.
And then, of course, those people struggle for a year or two and go under, and they just think, of course, his argument is they just don't know what they're doing. You know, if you look at my books, like the books are perfect. So he did that for decades, and then eventually somebody got busted and said, listen, the guy who's laundering all my money is this guy who owns a laundromat. And yeah, he ends up going to prison for God knows how long, but it still didn't matter because my buddy's dad lost $200,000 or $300,000, whatever he put into it to buy it. And all those people for decades were losing every couple of years once he got a good set of books. Once you've got a couple of years worth of books showing you're making a huge profit.
Oh yeah.
That's just extra money. Another $300,000, another three, even though he's been making money laundering it.
I mean, he's better smarter than most. Most people just do that and then try to get the loans. So like but I wish I'd got some loans or something.
On the using the books to get loans on the laundromat.
I mean, yeah, people
and then not pay it and let it all go under.
Exactly. You have what they need 2-3 years of good tax returns. That's all they need.
That's what he was doing to get so that these people could go to the bank and borrow money. If you have 3 years of
3.
Colby's kind of like. So if you can show 3 years of business books, saying you're making a profit of $100,000 a year, that business is worth like 800 or 900. It's like worth like 3 times whatever you're making a year. Some of the multiplications of these things are like 5 times. Some are 10 times. Like if it's like a tech company or something that's got great growth potential, it could be like 10 times or 8 times. But like a laundromat's kind of standard, so it's like 2 or 3 times what it's worth.
But you don't even need to have the full books. You just have the returns.
But this guy had everything though. Yeah. Keep in mind he's doing the books.
Yeah.
He's like he knows what he's doing. He's got
an accountant.
Oh, he's fucking working at like he's a CPA or something, bro. Yeah. He's got everything down. And
I always tell people, you want to make a bunch of money, become an accountant. Like those guys know all the tricks.
Yeah. Or a criminal defense attorney.
Those guys.
Those make a ton of money. And there's nobody to complain if they fuck up. Like, oh, yeah, you're right. I fucked up. This guy went to fucking prison for 10 years. Oh, well.
Yeah, who's going to see him?
Yeah,
10 years.
You're a criminal. Yeah. Well, I should have got 2. Maybe. But you didn't.
Not just that. Who are you going to complain to?
Right.
You're gone for 10 years.
Yeah. By the time you get out in 10 years, you're just happy to be out. What are you going to do? Go shoot your criminal defense attorney? Exactly. You're like, man, I just
did 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the business I bought into. And so it's losing. At first, it's losing like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and I'm like wondering what's going on. We've got 2 employees, and me.
Right.
I had a bunch of people on the payroll that there was some stuff going on there. There's still indictments coming out, so I'd rather stay out of that one. But and it was just ridiculous. And so I didn't do anything criminal with the restaurant.
Yeah.
I really tried to live an honest life and put up a restaurant, and then maybe sell it after. I got really good at it, and I knew how to run a good business through the nightclubs because we were actually promoting the nightclubs. It wasn't just all.
You figure this isn't that much different.
It's not that much different. It was a lot different. Food is a very big difference between alcohol. Alcohol is a big money maker. Food is not.
Right.
Yeah. So at the end, it's been close to a year, and I'm down $50K, like 20 plus another 30 I borrowed around. So it's like I'm down $50K. There was a VA hospital they were building next door, and I'm just waiting for construction to start because I'm like, as soon as construction starts, we're gonna pick up.
Yeah. All
the construction workers, and then when it's built, we have all the staff. I was like, this is what we need to hold out for. I'm holding out, nothing. It's not they're not even breaking ground. It's outrageous. And so I was just like, God damn it. And I had to sell it. I didn't have a choice. I had to sell it at a loss, and then just only had enough to cover my losses. So I ended up, off of all the money I had, I left with $3,000 in my pocket. That's all I had. And so at the end, I'm depressed. There a bunch of shit had happened before that. I had someone sleep with a fiance. I broke my back. It was terrible. It was a bunch of different things all happening all at once. I got really, really fucking depressed. I ended up healing from the back and things like that. And I met this girl at the restaurant before we closed, and she was brought in by one of my regulars. So he worked at Papa John's, so I called him Papi John. And he never brought a girl over. I don't want to disparage the guy, but he was a real loser. Like,
Right.
like, and so like he brings the girl over. They have a bad time the first night. I'm doing a good host. I was actually pretty good at it. Like, become charming, charismatic. These are all traits you can learn. And so I'm good at I'm serving meals. They have a bad experience. They come back a second time. He's like, look, I'm gonna try it again. Like probably John tells me. He's like, I'm gonna serve her again, bring her again, try this again. I was like, look, you guys are welcome anytime. I'm trying to be a great host. And so like they're not having a good time. They came on karaoke night and you can tell she's not a karaoke girl.
Right.
Like she's more like is it Tom girl or what is that?
Tomboy.
Tomboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like short hair, pixie cut type deal. And so she's real cute too. It's black hair. And they're not having a good time. And she goes to the bathroom and is just like there for like an hour. And I'm talking to him, I'm like, bro, I don't think she likes you.
Right.
And when she comes out, he starts yelling at her, berating the shit out of her. He was like, this is why you don't have your kids and this and oh, bro. He gets to the point where it's like he hit her with a pump fake. He was like this. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like she's like, I'm gonna call the cops. I was like, bro, get the fuck out of my restaurant, like right now. I don't care how cool we are. No one calls the police in this restaurant. Because if fucking you get the fuck out of it. Because whenever you have that many calls against you, like over time, it makes you lose your liquor license.
Okay.
Because there's strikes on your liquor license. So they're gonna be like, oh, these guys are rowdy, disruptive. You're over serving alcohol, or this is the things that they're gonna come to the conclusion of. So I told them get the fuck out. And fucking. And so like I stayed with her. She's paranoid and she wants me to drive her because she drove with him in his car, but she drove her car to his house.
Right.
So I'm waiting. She's like, I'll take you to her car, and I take her to her car and things like that. She was like, hey, can we finish that drink? And we ended up fucking, like
Right.
typical degenerate. You know what I mean? So, and we got into like a few months long relationship and things like that. She was not the best person, because she was on a lot of Adderall. So someone had prescribed her like almost 200 Adderalls per month. I don't know what doctor does that, but like it was a real script too.
Right.
And so she was taking some and then selling the rest. And so, but it got to one point where I'm like, I'm basically writing her out. She doesn't have a job or nothing like that. So I'm just like, right? I need someone to soak in my misery with me. And so she's like, she runs out of Adderall one day. She's like, I can't find Adderall. She has me driving all around the dope spots in Atlanta looking for Adderall because she's a little white girl and she's scared. And
I thought she had a prescription.
she ran out.
Okay, so she's taking too much, more than her script.
Well, yeah, she's selling a big portion of it, and she's keeping the other. But she's popping these things like M&Ms.
Right.
So like, there's no doctor in the world that are going to give her. She's already got a prescription for almost 200 Adderalls, and you killed it in a month. I'm not going to give you another one.
Right. Okay.
So she has me driving around to all these dope houses, or not even dope houses, like the gas stations where you see, people are selling drugs for sure. And I'm walking up to these guys because she's terrified to get out of the car. I'm like, hey, you guys got Adderall? Like, I'm not taking this shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, nah, man, I got a Percocet. I'm like, it's the opposite. I'll just walk away. I was like, look, I can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not continually doing this. I'm not going to every fucking gas station looking for drugs. She's like, okay, I'm just gonna do meth then. I'm like, meth or ice.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do ice then. I'm like, that's a big jump. Yeah. And it's like she's falling off the rails. It's already showing the signs. I'm like, hey, this is about to end. But when she came from money. Like Selma, Alabama, where it's like the Martin Luther King stuff. Or like where they had the voters' rights march where they hit they got hit with the batons and the dogs. Like it was the famous one with all the pictures for the civil rights stuff back in Martin Luther King times.
Okay. I don't.
They made a movie about it. It was called Selma.
Okay.
Yeah. So the famous church that had conducted all that, she was actually the daughter of one of their pastors, things like that. So they had like actual money, things like that. She drove around BMW X7, all this other stuff. Yeah, pretty good money. And so it's like one of her family members died, left her an inheritance. It was like some coins and some jewels and stuff like that. So she took it to a spot that she knew in Conyers, Georgia, that sells coins and jewels. and I would go with her. Like, and I always, I don't know, I'm nosy. I'd always look at security systems just because, like, I used to install them. I used to uninstall them, So I was just like, I'm looking around, like this is really old system. Like, I know this system. This is terrible. But like, not just that. Like, you look at all the display cases, and everything is just strewn about. Like, it's like not orderly. Like, you go into the jewelry store, you have everything on display, pretty. It's not that. And so it just has me like, how do you know everything that's in here? Like, there's no order in the system. So I asked the guy who, like, runs the store. I was like, how do you know everything that's in here? You got so much stuff. He's like, that's the best part. Sometimes I'll find a piece that's worth $30,000 I didn't even know about.
This guy an idiot?
Hey, man, I don't make people. I say for every one smart person, probably a dozen idiots. So
okay, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
I think it's more like
maybe
1 to 100, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, small town America. He was probably really trustworthy. I don't know. He ran across the wrong person.
Right.
So at this point, like, remember, I just lost what, 50,000.
Right.
I just lost what 3 years worth of savings. I broke my back. I've stopped talking to family members. I don't have anything anymore. Pandemic is full swing. Like, I got nothing. So I see this thing, and I'm not trying to justify it. This is not the right thing to do, but I'm gonna steal this stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you got hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry in here. I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
I'm not that person now, but so I break up with the girl because I don't want anything tying me to the thing, and then I scope it out for like a while. I'm standing in the bushes in the middle of the night, just looking at it, like, all night, just counting the cars that pass by, counting the amount of police officers that pass by, seeing patrol areas in the unit, listening to police scanners. You can download police scanners on your phone nowadays. It's just
Right.
and so just getting the lay of the land, right? And I'm low on money. This is when, like, stimulus checks start to hit. So when the stimulus check starts to hit, I buy all the tools I need for the heist. I'm low now, and I gotta if I'm gonna steal it, I had a fence in Pennsylvania and over in Allentown who would have bought all this stuff at 40 cents on the dollar, which is really high for stolen goods. So it was like, okay, this is a no-brainer. And so I bought all the tools. I bought everything. I knew the system. So the security system, the way that worked at the time that I had the understanding of, was that there's a telephone wire that connects to the main box, and that communicates to the people that run the alarm systems. So you're talking about, like, okay, there's a signal that goes off here. The person at the command center for the alarm company, right? The guys who dispatch police, call the owner of the store and all that. The communication goes straight through the telephone wire. So if you cut telephone wire, there's no communication when the alarm sounds.
All right.
So when you do that, you have a control panel on the main control panel, boop, 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 right, with the buttons, right? But what a lot of people don't realize is that there's a reserve battery pack in the back. So this specific jewelry store was in Plaza, right? And next to in the same plaza, next door to it, was a vacant store. So in the there's nothing in there. There's no alarms. That things have been vacant for months. I know that that's smooth entry. So I wait around all night. I finally got all the tools. I have everything like there. I post up. I stole a license plate off another car that was the exact make and model. So I was making sure that cover your bases, because if they track it back down, they'll find it to a car that doesn't have that license plate. It was stolen. So it was like, okay, close that lead. And so I map out the route of how to get away. So because nowadays they got flock cameras. They didn't have that much back then. You know flock?
No.
So what flock is like the CCTV system in Britain?
Yeah.
It's very similar. So they've basically put on these. I'm sure you've seen them. They're these poles with the solar panels on it with a black camera.
Yeah.
Those are
like at intersections.
not just at intersections, all along the road path usually.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so what Flock is a national database for cameras that is accessible by all law enforcement with just their own code. Doesn't matter that if they're in Colorado, they can access the cameras for Florida. Doesn't matter if they're in Florida, they can access the cameras for Arkansas.
Okay.
So they have a national database now that is getting bigger every year. So it started, I think, in like probably around 2021. At least it started getting big. And so like you need to, nowadays, like, it's hard to outrun them. It's almost impossible. So, but at the time, they still hadn't like gotten as bad as they are now. So I mapped out the routes to make sure that there was nothing along that route.
Okay.
And so once I did that, I was like, okay, tonight's the night. Especially what made me really, really excited was it was raining. I was like, rain is the best because you cover all sounds. You don't have to worry about anybody. Police officers are usually, sleeping in their car. They don't want to deal with anything. They're not pulling people over. It's the best time. And so I was like, yes, because I already planned it would be this day. But now it's raining on top of it. I was like, this is a sign. Man, I was just trying to pull myself out of my bad luck. Right? I see the looks. I know. But hey, I'm putting you through the mind of the person I was.
Yeah.
So I go there. I wait till the right time. I'm waiting, and then I put duct tape around the frame of the vacant store so that the glass catches, it doesn't shatter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I put duct tape around the edges. I smash into the vacant. I get in. I pull the glass and I put it to the side. Does you understand the whole concept with the duct tape?
So you can smash it and it so that all the glass doesn't hit the ground and shatter, and then you get glass all over the place.
Yeah. So if you put duct tape in, it'll become a single piece.
Yeah, like the security on your car, or actually on your house and shit, right? Like, then have like a thin. Does it? It didn't really shatter now, does it? Or I know cars
shatter.
Do they? Well, what is it that something has?
The windshield.
No,
doesn't.
the windshield doesn't.
Does windshield, but the windows do.
Okay, well,
because the windows do because of firefighters.
Okay, well, I'm thinking the windshield, like it's all one piece. There's something. Yeah. So if you put tape all over, that's why they do it for like hurricanes and stuff. They'll put duct tape all over the windows.
Exactly. So that's the concept. So I did that. I put it around the edges, and then you put lines all the way down the center, and then you put like a tic-tac-toe pattern.
Yeah.
And so when you break it, and you can break it all around the edges, and all of it will catch. And not only will it catch, but the areas that are not duct taped won't break as much because glass shatters due to vibrations.
Okay.
So it's the vibrational frequency is what actually shatters the glass. It's not the actual brute force. So like you don't really have to like smash it. You just have to tap it enough times and it'll break by itself.
Okay.
So I get that glass out, and then I had already walked through the jewelry store, so I knew where everything was on the other side and relative to it. So the control panel was right there by the front door. So I cut a hole in the wall. I cut the wires to the front to the thing. Now it still has power from the reserve power. So remember when you put the panel up, you're just putting it on the wall. This thing doesn't really need to be next to a stud. So on the other side, on the interior building, interiors usually don't have insulation. So I cut a hole in that, and I grabbed in, and I just found the power cable. Disconnected the power cable. And then I knew he had a camera system, so I was like, okay, his office is right here, so the camera system's right here. And so, but he had a really good camera system, surprisingly, compared to the actual alarm system. I was like, this seems like a waste. But I unplug it. I unplug.
Well, he's probably thinking armed robbery as opposed to burglary.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably thinking that the alarm will just go off.
Yeah, well, he also had like those like steel shutters and things like that.
Oh.
Yeah, so I
feel like he's pretty secure.
It felt like he was secure.
Right.
Yeah. So I found where the office was basically, and I kicked a hole in, and I poke my head in, and like to my surprise and fucking terror, there's like 15 rifles in there. I was like, oh, don't touch those.
Right.
Do not, under any circumstances, touch those. I didn't even want to fucking breathe on those things after my last experience with an armed burglary.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, so I unplug his router. So he, if he like if the alarm does go off, he can't see anything on the camera, and it won't really record on the server. And so, like, you unplug everything, right? And so when you do that, I go back all the way to the back, and now I can make a hole to the reserve pack of the battery. I had already been outside and cut the telephone wire. So
How do you know where the reserve pack is?
usually in the back of the store because it has to be connected directly to a power source.
Okay.
So if you can't see it, it's usually all the way in the back near the breaker. It's a thick. It's not. It's like it looks like a moped battery. It's not like just a plug-in.
Right.
Yeah. So if I know it's back there, so it's something hard that's hard to hide. And, you wouldn't put it in a cabinet because it's a fire hazard. So
Okay.
So I go back there and I unplug it. Once I unplug it, I already cut the telephone wire. I already cut the power cord. I already cut everything. I'm like, I'm good, right? He had an additional like motion sensor, but it's not communicating in my mind, right? I got police scanners. I got all this stuff. I go about emptying the store. I find 50,000 in cash. I get 150,000 in jewels. I was gonna open the safe with I had a mobile angle grinder with the battery pack, but like just as I was about to do it, I hear on the scanner it said the actual address of where I was at, and it said some code. I had been looking all week to find out what the codes were on the alarms, but I couldn't find it. But it said the address. I knew the address. I was like, oh no. So I grab everything. It was like contractor bags. I walk, and I forgot to mention. Remember, I said I usually use disguise. So in that specific instance, I was dressed as parking lot security. And so when I walk out, I'm dressed as parking lot security. I stick all the bags in my van, and as I'm sticking my bags in my van, a police officer shows up, like a patrol car, lights, sirens, everything. Fuck, man. Like, really, this is the uniform or the outfit or however you want to say it is really not for law enforcement when I do it. It's not like, oh, I'm going to trick a police officer. Like, it's more.
You're saying you're security.
Yeah,
right?
it's for like the heroic bystander. It's for all those guys. You need to have context for why you're there.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You're saying you're not dressed like that to try and fool law enforcement. You're dressed like that in case some guy sees you, and you know, that way you look like he writes you off like you look like you're supposed to be there.
Exactly. Like if everything has gone right, you should be gone before police investigate.
Ideally.
I mean, yeah.
Hopefully, right?
Well, yeah. Like the thing what I didn't know, right, is that, and I read this later on in like a security magazine because like I installed them for a while, so I read this and the thing. That specific system, they knew the flaw what it was, right? It had been many times violated, right? That you cut the telephone wire. That's it.
Yeah.
Even if it sounds, it doesn't mean that it's communicating, and they won't dispatch law enforcement even because like it's just a sound. No one's saying. Everyone hears the sound and assumes law enforcement has already been dispatched, so no one's calling. So if you cut that telephone wire, it's game over. And so they realized that flaw, and they installed a 3G chip in the board that connected the power.
You didn't know that.
No. And so those 3G chips, they don't need that much electricity.
Right.
And so like that's it. So yeah, I cut off the communication. Yeah, I cut off the alarm. But that thing was communicating through 3G.
So when you walk out, you see the cop.
Oh no, I walked out and I put my bags in the car and I'm about to take off. I'm already in the driver's seat. Like I'm like with the door open.
Okay.
And I see the cop. The cop pulls in just before I can pull out. I was like, "Oh fuck! Like this is it." Like, but I gotta be quick on my feet. Like, I pull out my phone, put it next to my ear. Like, hey, I'm on the phone with the dispatcher. Like, hey, I called 911. The guy, he went that way. He went that way. Like, hurry! He just went that way.
Right.
And like he did this one movie. He was like, he was about to go too, and then he was like, I can't go without backup. I was like, oh, okay. So he goes inside the vacant because like the jewelry store,
right?
It still has the steel fronts. Like I didn't smash the fronts of the jewelry store, so that's not the door that's open. The door that's open is the vacant. So he's immediately going in through the vacant.
Okay.
And so I'm like, oh man, I only got a few seconds. If I start running right now, I'm driving a Honda Odyssey. Like this thing's not going fast.
Right.
We're not prepared for high speed chase yet.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, just as I'm thinking, another cop car pulls up. Like, oh. I was like, hey, man, I'm parking lot security. I don't know. Your buddy went in there. But like now, the second guy, he blocked my car in. I can't go anywhere. I was like, ah.
Did you do it on purpose?
No.
Okay.
He was just quick to the scene. He was just like trying to get out of the car and help his buddy as fast as possible. I mean, imagine. You have an intruder. You could be armed. Like, I was not. Like,
Right.
Yeah, I learned that lesson.
Are you thinking like, hey, if I hang out here, like wanting to leave looks almost semi-suspicious. Are you thinking to yourself like, if I could hang out and say, hey, do you guys need me or need anything? Because
Well, I tried to do that for half a second, but like, at this point, it's like 3 a.m. Like
Right.
I've been scoping this thing out since midnight. I waited for the right time and like 2. You're waiting.
right,
And so I'm like, bro, I want to get out of here.
right,
So I follow along the thing. I even give them a whole witness testimony. I like a whole report, and they were
Right.
going for it. They were eating it up. They're like, man, I'm sorry you guys had to deal with this. Like these guys, man, these guys are like, I don't know what this is. I walked in, I seen some holes. Like, I'm siding with them.
Right.
I'm their buddy.
yeah, I'm on your side.
Yeah,
We got to stop these fuckers.
I always wanted to be a cop. And they're eating it up. Like these guys are like new to the job or something. One of them was a rookie. Like the person that they let be the arresting officer isn't always the arresting officer. Like they're like, okay, you get it this time.
Right,
That guy was a rookie. That made me mad later on. I was like, you did not arrest me. I was like, oh. But yeah. And so like now that everything's going, I was like, everything's about to go. They're just waiting like 30, 40 minutes. They're like, oh, let's just finish this paperwork, all this other stuff. We got to get CSI on scene, all this other stuff. They're going for it. I'm ready to go home. And then a third cop pulls up. And this guy is a veteran. This guy's old. Like, you could tell he's old. And he walks up. He hears the story from those guys. He reads what they wrote down. He looks at me. He looks me up and down. He sees sheetrock on my knees from the wall I cut out.
right,
He's like, hey, why is there sheetrock on your knees? I was like, because I went in there, I crouched down, I looked at the hole. Normal
Right.
response. He's like, oh, okay. So I was looking in the van. See a lot of tools in there. I was like, I do furniture repair and construction work on the side.
right.
This is a part-time job. I'm not gonna feed a family on a nighttime salary or a parking lot security salary. Okay. I was actually doing those things at the time too. I was actually like buying furniture and repairing it. So I pulled out social media. I'm like, look at this.
Yeah.
I got a whole story. And he's like, okay. Do you give us permission to search your vehicle? I'm like, nah, that's just dead. Nope. No, you need a warrant. All right. Yeah, I was like, okay, we're gonna detain you until we get that warrant. And this is COVID time, so I'm wearing the mask. Yeah, the mask, hat, security guard thing. And they finally they detain me. They finally get the owner of the shop in. He's like, I don't recognize him. I guess they hired him. I don't know.
Right.
They try to confirm like who I was and stuff like that. They're like, give us the number for your boss. Phony. They take me to the county jail. They process me. They book me. I was like,
Did they search your van?
eventually,
Right.
yeah, they got the warrant. They got the warrant. But I never fought it, but I probably could have. When they got the warrant, they did not check the VIN and cross-reference the plates. So they got the warrant for the plates of the stolen plates. So like, remember I said, yeah. So like, I was like, I might be able to fight this. 'Cause, what was that? Fruit of the poisonous tree?
I mean, yeah, if a judge goes for it, but
Hey, you might. You never know.
maybe what did happen? we can daydream all we want.
Yeah. So what did happen was I go to court and they tell me they're like my last name begins with S, so I'm in the last, roll call.
Right.
And so they're going through everybody. It's like, hey, I need a new attorney, and it's like, and give me more time to hire an attorney. It's like, okay, you can hire an attorney, but you go to trial in 15 days. And if you have an attorney, then you don't. It doesn't matter. 15 days. and everybody in front of me is doing the same thing. Everybody. I'm like, fuck. Like, this is my whole thing. My whole thing is, like, we hire a new attorney. Because, like, literally, I've been in there, like, a few weeks, like maybe 2 weeks.
Right. So this is what? This is as COVID's wrapping up and they're starting to see people
No, this
again?
is
This is middle of COVID.
This is middle of COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, this is...
Because that's odd, but I mean, during COVID, they were doing things very weird. They're doing stuff they would never do before, which was like, video conferences, letting people go for just like you should go to jail for X amount of time. We're gonna go home and stay home.
Yeah, I wish that was me. Because I've heard about people who were getting arrested and they wouldn't even get arrested. They were just here. Eventually we're gonna come for you.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, be on your way.
Yeah.
And that's why people were getting charged in 23 and 24, 3-4 years later.
Right.
And just before the statute of limitations ran out. But no, everyone in front of me who was in custody, they were trying to force them to go to trial. Like, really, really force them.
Right.
And so I was like, oh my God,
it sounds like they're forcing them to take a plea. You know what I'm saying?
But they didn't offer me anything.
Okay.
What plea am I taking?
Right.
And so, like, I guess to the point, I was like, I'm pacing. I got a public defender. I'm like, I'm gonna die here. Like, these guys are gonna, because this is small town America. Yeah. This is the country. This is real deal Jim Crow where this belongs. They have cotton fields in this town. Like, I was like, I'm not saying it's racist. I'm saying it's hard on punishment. That's the thing. Like, also one thing I'll say about the criminal justice system in Georgia, I don't think it is racist because they treat everybody the same. You're a criminal, fuck you. And so I'm sitting in my seat, like I'm going over something, and then I hear a lawyer go, he said, "Hi, Your Honor, my client needs a mental health evaluation because it might mitigate circumstances for trial."
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, "Okay." She gives her 4 months. Got one. Tell my public defender. I was like, do not ask for an attorney. Tell them that you need a mental health evaluation because it might impact sentencing. Don't say trial. It might sentencing because you say trial, all of a sudden they're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna plead insanity, and they want you to do it right then and there or something like that. Like, that's too much work. So I was like, okay, let me plead. Let me see because it might impact mitigating circumstances. And so it bought me 6 months. And so in those 6 months, I got an attorney, and it was a pretty good one. And at this, right at the 6 month mark, and then that guy bought me another 4 months. So now I'm in 10 months on the street. But the whole time, I'm assuming I'm going to prison, 100%. They got me red-handed.
Yeah,
I got bonded out eventually, but I'm assuming I'm going to prison. So I just started saving up as much money as I can, so that when I get out, I have something to come home to. I already had nothing, so I was like, let me figure this out. I worked at a restaurant for a month or two, and then I jumped into a taxi. I became a taxi cab. I was a taxi driver. And
a taxi driver or like an Uber driver?
No, a taxi driver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Atlanta, they still got taxis, but it's mostly for the immigrant communities. At the time, you couldn't really open bank accounts because they the ITIN system. You know what ITIN is?
No.
So you know how businesses have EINs?
Yeah.
So they basically have developed a system, like the Social Security Office has developed a system that's very similar to EIN, but it's for people who are undocumented, and they call that a tax ID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ITIN. So all those that system wasn't fully developed or fully aware of in the immigrant community, so they couldn't open bank accounts because they have no ITIN number or no Social Security number. You know? So at the time, they were only taking cash cabs because they can't get an Uber without a card. And so, I was making a lot of money back then.
Right.
I was probably clearing, after expenses, $1,700 a week in cash. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't happy enough with that because I'm going to prison. I got to make more than just this. This is paying bills, but it's not making enough. So, when you're working a taxi cab, access to the streets. So you meet every scoundrel, delinquent, everything out there, You don't really meet a lot of good people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe good-hearted people, but the really, really good people, you don't really meet a lot of them. So met a guy who was selling me coke. Blow? Yeah. So
yeah.
And so And so I started buying to sell. So I started buying and selling coke, blow, and it was going okay. I made like an extra $700 a week. It was pretty good. Like this has something to sit on. And I'm just putting money in stocks and stuff like that because I was like, oh, it'll go up by the time I come home.
Right.
It worked.
Right.
It did work. I hit AMC right when it got out, and it was like I had bought it at 13 and was selling for 50. Got it from the Reddit. It was a good stock pick. But who knows? But yeah, it was pretty good. And then this time when I got out, I had a bunch of Robinhood, and Robinhood had shot up big. Yeah, so I had put in like $100. I was sitting on like 500. Pretty good money.
Right.
But but I'm selling blow, and then one day, like, and remember, I was driving all these immigrants, mostly Mexicans. A lot of them are like get in the cab because they're drunk.
Right.
They got a prostitute next to them and things like that. This is prime customer for blow. Like this is target audience. I'm like, heck yeah. So every time they get in drunk, I was like, hey man, want some? And just COVID time drugs were selling for really, really high. Like I heard like in Atlanta that a key of blow was going for 46 at the highest during the COVID.
I don't know.
It's really,
okay.
It's really high. But and so like I'm able to sell it at $100 a gram, like no difference. This is 70s prices basically, and making a bunch of money. And so this one guy gets in my cab, and I'm like, hey, he's drunk. He's a Mexican dude. He got a prostitute with him. I was like, I know what you want. You want some? And he's like, no, I don't do that. I was like, come on. I know you're the guy. Come on, prime target. No. And he's like, but you do rides other than the company? Yeah, like yeah. Just call me. I give him my phone number. Like call me directly, and I'll give you a ride. Fair rate. So he's like, okay. He doesn't want to blow, but I'll get him do the regular rides. Make money off him that way. And so I started driving around, and I was like, why don't you have a car? He's like, oh, I got a bunch of DUIs. I was like, I get it. I was like, what do you do for work? He's like, I sell cars. I was like, doesn't really go with each other, but okay. It was plausible enough to understand or buy it. And as time goes on, and he knows obviously this is how I met him was, through drugs.
Right.
And so like one day he's like, I know you sell blow, but if someone were to give you some bud, what would you be able to do with it? I'm like, I know some people. I could do something with it. And so he fronts me about 2 pounds. And so I was like, okay, let's see. I mean, at first I didn't even want the 2 pounds. I was like, I just want one. He's like, I only sell two by two. Okay. And so it took me like a week. I got rid of the 2 pounds, just through people I met in the taxi, people I met in nightclubs, different things like that. And I was like, okay. And like that started developing a good relationship, and we're doing okay. We're doing good business. I'm buying 2, and 2 turns into 4, 4 turns into 5, 5 turns into 7. All of a sudden I'm like at 10 a week. And I'm like, this is good money for when I go to jail.
Right.
I mean, like at this point, what do I have to lose, right? I'm about to go away for some years. That's it. They catch me, they catch me. If they don't, they don't. And then it turns out my lawyer was really, really good. Like this guy got me no prison time, a suspended probation sentence. And I'm like, yo.
COVID.
Partially, also like we did this thing. It was so we didn't plea out through the prosecutor. We pled out directly through the judge. And so, because like their whole case was, he doesn't live in this city, he doesn't work in this city, he's never been to this city. So why is it like there's another county that he lives in, he works in, is willing to take him on drug court. So put him in drug court, put a suspended sentence on him, get him out the way. That's what they did. And I was like, okay, and I'm doing good. I'm not a drug addict, but I say I was. And so I'm doing okay. But the problem was it was like asking me to do 40 hours a week of like classes and different things plus, and then added on top of that was like, was it like 3 to 5 piss tests a week? was ridiculous.
Right.
It was set up for failure. Like when I found out it was like a third party consultation company, they made all the money on the government contracts, and like most people were extended out. It was like a 18-month program. They would extend the minimum was like 40 months. People would extend out because every time you fuck up, they set you back. Big profits, yeah. And so we're doing that. I'm doing that. I'm going back and forth with the and like I really want to get beat up, but the problem is like I can't work. Like these guys really have me under 40 hours a week, not including the 3 to 5 times I got to go 2 hours to go take a piss test. Because
Right.
it's outrageous. And so like I'm trying to figure it out, but it's just not feasible. And you tell them, it's like, look, I have to work. And there's like, oh, that's not our problem. We need like, well, we need you to focus on your sobriety. I was like, how am I gonna focus on sobriety? I got bills to make, like bills to pay. They don't care. This is
Right.
they just want an excuse to set you back. So, at this point, I'm falling asleep in classes. Like they have the Zoom classes for the drug classes and things like that. I'm falling asleep. If I fall asleep, it counts as an absent, and you go to jail for the weekend.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. Whether you're having trouble falling asleep, you're waking up sweating in the middle of the night, or all of the above. That's where Ghost Bed can help. As the makers of the coolest beds in the world, Ghost Bed is your go-to for cooling mattresses, cooling pillows, and cooling bedding. From their signature Ghost Ice fabric to patented technology that adjusts to your body's temperature, every Ghost Bed mattress is designed with cooling in mind. So whether you want a plusher mattress that cushions your shoulders and hips, or a firm option with exceptional support, your Ghost Bed will keep you cool and comfortable all night long. When you purchase a Ghost Bed mattress, your comfort is guaranteed. You can try out your mattress for 101 nights, risk-free, to make sure it's the right fit for you. Plus, they offer free shipping, and most items are shipped within 24 hours. If you're not sure which Ghost Bed is right for you, check out their mattress quiz. You'll answer a few questions and get a personalized recommendation.
Just visit ghostbed.com/Cox and use code Cox at the checkout.
So you just go to jail. It starts out 24 hours, then 48 hours, then 96 hours. At this point, like I'm going to jail every other weekend.
Right.
Like I racked up so many jail visits, it was ridiculous. Basically career criminal. I hadn't been to jail that many times. It was ridiculous. And I guess and I just keep doing it. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll just spend the weekends. Because I'm tired.
Right.
You got me working all night because I can't work during the day. I'm doing all this other stuff. I'm trying to get a normal living, but you guys won't let me. And yeah, it sounds like what a lot of junkies say, but I wasn't a drug addict. Like I was just trying to earn a normal living and just go with the program. But it was. I think the only people that it really worked was the people that were living in sober livings, because most of them were living in sober living, like getting squeezed. I don't know if you know how much you know about that business, but it's some cash cow sober livings.
Right. So what you violate? Eventually, you violate.
So like basically in the program, each one of those 24-hour, 46, those are all violations, right?
Right.
So, and then like the people that run the program, they're like, look, we don't think that you're serious enough about this program because you have X, Y, many violations within the program. It doesn't count as an official probation violation. It just counts as a violation within the program. So it's enough to set you back or kick you out.
Okay.
And so my being in that program was a special condition of my probation. So I don't know if you know about I don't know if Georgia is the same as other states. We like special conditions.
If you have to complete this.
But not only do you have to complete this, if you don't, you can get resentenced.
Okay.
So and not just that. In Georgia, they have something called the First Offender Act. I think I explained it to you slightly.
Yeah, on the phone.
Yeah. But for people that don't know, in Georgia, the First Offender Act is basically they remove the felony from your record if you complete the guidelines of what you're doing. And if you don't, they can resentence you to the maximum penalty under the law. So like that doesn't include like sentencing guideline maximum. No, like absolute maximum. So like the absolute maximum hanging over my head was like 18, 20 years.
Okay.
They had the 15-year suspended probation, but that was just in case I didn't complete the program. But if I violated completely with new charges, looking at 18 to 20 years possibly. And so this is what I have in my mind. I'm like, if I fuck up, they're gone. Like gone.
Right.
And so when they tell me they're like, "Oh, we're gonna kick you out the program because you're not taking it seriously," it scares the shit out of me. I'm terrified. Like, look, I was a tough guy for a long time, but I don't want to go to prison for the next 20 years. Who does?
Right.
And so I go on a run. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna stick around for this. They're gonna come get me, and they're gonna recommend the judge kick me out of this program, and I'm not gonna do this.
So you go on the run.
Do I go on the run? So I go stay at a buddy's house. I put all my stuff in storage. I've been making money on all ends. I've been loan sharking. I've been selling furniture. I've been selling the weed, the bud. I've been doing everything I can get my hands on. I'm trying. Well, at the time when I had started all that stuff, I had started with the goal of making a nest egg.
Yeah.
But now it's just like everything has gotten out of control because now I'm not going away. If everything's manageable when there's a unplug time. There's no unplug time now because I'm just out. I'm free. I was like, oh, what's going on here?
Right.
And so I go on the run, and I didn't go on the run like you, like a smart person. I went on the run like the dummy I am or have been, and I stayed in town.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah, I stayed in town. I kept selling furniture, loan sharking. Like nothing was up for me. Like it's normal. Like I just moved.
Yeah.
And so, I'm doing everything. It gets out of hand a little bit. I started drinking a lot. I crashed a car.
That's not gonna help.
No. I gotta tell this lady. I was like, hey, look, I'll pay you $1,000 cash right now if you let me get out of here. She was like, I'm calling the police.
Right.
Yeah, because the car was like hooked. It wouldn't. I hopped in. I was trying to.
Right.
It wasn't going anywhere. So I'm calling the police. I had to call. I was so drunk. I had to call someone to help me get out of there without seeing any cameras and stuff like that. It was terrible. Absolutely.
So the cops. You got out before the cops?
Yeah, I got out before the cops. Yeah, no. Yeah, I called the owner because they were all the cars I drove were taxi cabs, so they were rented from the owner of the car. So I would anytime something would happen, I'd tell the owner, "Hey, report that stolen real quick." Right. I wouldn't tell them why. I would tell them some bullshit reason. And so at this point now I ran out of taxi cabs. I can't have more. They won't give me any more taxi cabs. So at this point, I rent a U-Haul pickup. Like the Silverados, rent this for $19.99. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I rent that, and I started serving my plays and selling furniture and bringing in. I had just started liquidation pallets. I was trying everything. I was trying everything I could. Spitting image of my father. And so I rented it for a week. At this point, I ran up a lot of money on it. It was no problem. I was making, at that time, I was probably making $600 to $1,000 a day between everything together. So I was like, yeah, it'll pay for itself, And then, that day, the day I was supposed to turn it in, I was supposed to go to Athens, Georgia, to go pick up liquidation pallets. So I picked up 2 pallets, 1 pallet of bicycles, 1 pallet of construction materials. It was pallet liquidation?
I mean, that's when you buy stuff when it's places have gone bankrupt or they've gone under or they have too much of something and they sell the pallets off their stock.
That's partially, but the other partial is returned goods. So
at Amazon and stuff like that, they have stuff that was undeliverable and
Amazon or Walmart. Walmart, obviously, they're not going to restock everything on the shelf. Yeah. So things like that, or Amazon is a bigger example because of online sales. Mm-hmm. It costs them 67% of the retail value to return a good.
Oh, okay.
So it's easier for them to write it off and to get rid of it on the pallets. And so typically they sell them through trailers, and then from the trailers people break down those to half trailer size, cargo container trailers,
mm-hmm.
The big ones. And so they do half trailers, and then they do pallet lots, which is 4 pallets, and then there's the guys at the very end who sells the individual pallets. And so I was buying them from the guy at the very end.
Okay.
And so because it made no sense buying a bunch of pallets when I didn't know what was in them, because a lot of times they're not manifested. So I'm buying though. I bought 2. I go and I sell one, and then I still have the other one in the back. And so at this point I got like $5,000 in cash on me. So I sold one. It wasn't all the money from that. Some of it was from furniture I had sold that day and other stuff like that. The most surprising part about it was the money I had on me and that person right at that moment. None of it was from drugs, like because I was working on getting out. Like I didn't want to be a drug dealer anymore.
Right.
Like I was already on the run. I was like, this is pointless. Like because buds are gonna be legal anyways, so the market's gonna crash, which it ended up doing when I was away, and it's just ridiculous. So it was like I could either go really really illegal or really really legal. I tried the really really illegal, and like I got like half a key of blow fronted to me, and I couldn't do nothing with it. Like I just gave it back. I was like, no, I'm not taking the risk of people killing my family over this.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like, so let me try all the other stuff, and I was trying all the other stuff, furniture sales, pallet liquidation. I was just waiting for it to make more money than the other thing was making, and then once it was complete split.
Right.
It didn't work out that way. Wish it did.
So what happened?
So what happens is that night or that day I'm riding around. I'm going to return the truck in the morning, and one of my buddies is like, "Hey man, just kick it home with me." And I was like, "No, I bought tickets to this concert. I'm going to go to this concert." It was this thing called Secret Walls, and you do art, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the guys, rap battles basically. Like
Yeah.
So imagine instead of rap battles, it's like a mural battle. So there's a team of artists over here on this side, and a team of artists over here on this side, and there's a wall about the size of that one behind you. And so but they're only allowed to use black and white, each team. So like the wall is already white, and they're only use a lot of black paint or black ink.
Okay.
And the crowd picks out which one's the best. And so like that's the event I went to. So,
All right.
And so I went to that, and there was a concert at the same time, but the concert was late because it was Flying Lotus, and he was late to this event. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm getting drunk. I'm over here arguing with exes on the phone and shit like that. I'm doing dumb stuff, really, really drunk. And I was like, okay. If the music plays, I was like, okay, let me get out of here. And I'm blasting music. I'm doing dumb stuff. I'm like burnouts and stuff like that. And I was like, hold up. I'm acting really stupid. I'm on the run. I'm drunk. I shouldn't do this. So I was like, okay, let me drive like a normal human being. And so I drove like a normal human being for like 30, 40 minutes, right? I get on the freeway. I'm on the freeway. I'm like around like I-20, I-85 area, like around there in Atlanta. So like coming from like Fulton Industrial area. And a cop gets behind me and he turns the lights on. Now, mind you, I've been driving clean for 30 minutes. Like, I'm good. There's no chance I've broken any laws. I'm driving the exact same speed limit.
Right.
I'm in a U-Haul pickup at 3 a.m, coming from a really shady part of town. I don't think that's more to do with it than actual broken traffic laws. And so I look back. I don't think it's for me. Like, I'm looking, I'm like, where's this guy? And so I move over because I'm thinking he's in an emergency. He's in a rush, right? He's got his lights on. So I get over, put my blinker on, get in the left lane. He's like, and he gets behind me again. I was like, is this guy fucking stupid? Did he not see the blinker? Like, come on. I'll do it again. And I get confused at this point. I was like, is this for me? And I was like, nah. I'll do it one more time. Then he gets behind me again. And I'm like, oh, it is for me. And so at this point, I decided, okay, I'm about to pull over. But I'm listening to this song. It was like, these people to internet. And like, because I remember when I got locked up for the jewel theft to begin with, everyone in the county jail was telling me, why didn't you just run? Why didn't you just run? And I'm just hearing these voices in my head. And I got 15 years, 18 years, maybe 20 years hanging over my head as well. And I'm like, this is where it all ends. I'm like, no, fuck this. I'm not doing this. And I got it. U-Haul Silverado, driving 100 miles down the highway, just weaving in and out of traffic. What I didn't know, because the thing is in Atlanta, the Atlanta Police Department, they're not allowed to chase you after 70 miles per hour.
Okay.
So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's Atlanta Police Department. What I didn't know was that Atlanta Police Department and Georgia State Patrol were running a cooperation effort that night called was it police interdiction or something like that.
Okay.
And so like they were working together. So I drove away from Georgia State Patrol, not Atlanta Police Department. And I don't know. Do you know about Georgia State Patrol? Like those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kill people.
Right.
They crashing into them. Like I think there's like Facebook pages and YouTube pages just dedicated to their chase videos. It's like outrageous.
They're not giving up.
They're not giving
Right.
up. They're not giving up. And so, but added to that guy trying to pull me over is that every quarter mile there's another unit officer. So we're talking about like I'm driving and another one, vroom, 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 vroom. Like at this point, like I'm driving on instinct. I'm not even thinking about what this is like. And so it looks to the point I look into my mirror because mind you, I'm trying to avoid the car that's trying to pit me on the side.
Right.
I'm looking in the mirror. This guy is trying to pit me, and I weave in between traffic. I'm getting in and I'm getting out. And like this guy's really trying to hit me. And I got a pallet full of construction materials in the back. I'm driving a lifted U-Haul Silverado. And I was like, this guy's trying to kill. I'm going 100 miles per hour, which is the max. Because U-Hauls have governors. The governor on this was 100. So I'm doing this. I'm jumping up and down. I'm trying to push it. I'm trying to get weight off of it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to get anything. 1 mile. Let me get 1 mile. Yeah. Hey, I'm just trying to get anything, man. And so, and like at this point, like I look in the mirror and it's like 30 cop cars behind me. I look in front of me and there's a spotlight on. There's a helicopter in the sky chasing me. And I'm like, oh man. At this point, I guess the question is like, where do I want to go to jail? Like, because
If I go one more county,
yeah.
they got a sweet spot there, a good commissary.
Yeah, I mean,
soft beds.
So like, during COVID times, right? There was still like, because even at that time, we were talking about, what was it, 22 around there I got arrested? So you're just talking about 22. There's still some COVID stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I had known people who had got locked up in the DeKalb County jail with a fake ID and bonded out on that fake ID.
Right.
So I got the chase started in Fulton County, but the DeKalb County is one county line over. And then I was deciding, I was like, do I go to DeKalb County or to Gwinnett County? But Gwinnett County I already have warrants out of. So I was like, go to DeKalb County. Let's see if we'll try our luck. So I take these guys on the chase for 30 minutes, 40 minutes at least. Because Fulton Industrial is like the far end of Fulton on the bottom side. And so I go all the way up to exit 9385 or Chamblee, Shallowford Road. Like, which is pretty impressive. I thought so. I mean, everybody else was like, it'd be impressive if you got away. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's a U-Haul.
Right.
How far you think I'm going to get?
Yeah. Not a lot of people out trying to outrun the cops and U-Hauls make it very far. Make it that far.
Yeah.
I wonder, can they use the spike strips on a U-Haul, or would they be afraid to?
I mean, it was the pickup. I mean, yeah. But the GSP doesn't care. I've seen videos where they did the whole box truck and they flipped it on its side. They don't care. But I didn't know it was them behind me. I just thought they were breaking the rules until I saw GSP actually. Like, I actually saw their blue and orange like on the side of the road. I was like, okay, this is over with. Like at this point, I just gotta decide. Fulton, DeKalb, or Gwinnett. Like these are the three closest counties. Like I'm in Fulton, DeKalb's 1 line over, Gwinnett's 2 lines over. But how far, And so I pull over on exit 93. Like I take the exit, and I'm gonna go straight through it because I even tried doing one of those things like in the movies where you hit the brakes really fast to see if you can outpace them. Didn't work. He hit the brakes too, right next to me. I was like, we were looking at each other, and it was not the fun. It was not fun. And so I was like, okay, let me go through the exit. I go through the exit, and it's red. Like the light is red, so I can't just speed right through it. And there's a bunch of cars there. So there's a U-turn for the exit. So like there's the exit is you can either go straight or you can cut the immediate U.
Right.
So I cut the immediate U so I don't hurt people. Like I don't want to hurt people.
Right.
And so when I do that, the GSP, he cuts on the inside and he hits my engine bay, smashes me directly into the barrier. And I was like, oh, like airbag kicks off. I open the door, like driver's side door, and hop out. I feel a hand on my wrist. I immediately close the door, put the lock on it. And I was like, I go in the center console where I had like a Foot Locker bag full of money, and I jump out the passenger side. And as soon as I jump out the passenger side, I'm collecting myself. I got my arms crossed across me like this. I hear freeze. Does not give me a chance to freeze. 3 tasers immediately. One hit me right here in the back of the head, one here in the back of the neck, and one hit me in the back. So, have you been tased?
No.
I mean, come on. There's things happen inside.
But I've seen videos. It doesn't look like it's a good. Why 3? Or there 3 different people?
Oh, there's 30 cop cars behind me. They all jumped out. They all wanted a piece. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. So as soon as it was all 3 different people. Yeah. So when I jump out and I have this bag full of money on me, my arms are like this, so I don't drop the bag. And they tase me. You lock up, right? All your muscles lock up. So I fall face first like this, on my belly. They immediately come over, law enforcement, knee on your back. Yeah, they're like, give me your arm, give me your arm.
Stop resisting.
Stop resisting. I'm like, not even. They're doing that. They're all 3 of them are tasing me. I'm like, oh, bro. When they finally picked me up off the ground, I couldn't find my glasses. I didn't even think about my glasses until like 3 months later at that point, because I was just like, whoa, I was lost. I was like, just please don't drop me. Just don't drop me. Don't drop me. They got me. They got me bad. I was like, it's mostly healed now. But they had got me. I was like, okay. All right. And then they put me, and the person who initiated the stop, they put me in the driver passenger side, which I'd never seen that before. But they had a dog in the back. And he was.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That makes sense, but you got other cars here. They're not dogs, so I didn't understand. So we're sitting there, and he was like, he's looking at me. He's like, "Why'd you run, boy? Why'd you run?" And I was like, "Oh, what are you talking about, man? You gotta sound like you have an interesting job, man." And he's like, "You know what I'm talking about?" I was like, "What was the reason for the stop? Just tell me that, because remember, I'm not doing anything. I was driving right for 30 or 40 minutes. So if you pulled me over for what I did 40 minutes ago, it's ridiculous."
Right.
And so he's like, he shows me the tape. Like, he actually turned over the computer inside his thing, like punched in some things, and he pulled up the dash cam footage on the computer. And he shows me the actual thing. And I noticed it. I was like, there's no reason for this pull. There's no reason for me to be pulled over right now. Because he says I was doing 90 and a 50.
Were you?
No. There's a governor is 100. If I was able to get speed like that, I'd have got speed like that to begin with. Like,
what would the dash cam say?
The dash cam didn't have him clocking me.
Oh, okay.
He tried to say he was pacing me.
Okay.
Which that doesn't. But I fucked up because I ran. If I wouldn't have ran, it wouldn't have been anything else. Because now they have probable cause because I ran.
Right.
Yeah. So, I was just looking at it. I was like, okay, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I go to Fulton County Jail. Do you know about Fulton County Jail? Have you heard about the news? Oh, a lot of murders in the county jail.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like at first I was gonna sit it through, and I was like, see, but some people get stabbed, and I was like, you know what? Let me get out of here, because there was this one guy who came into they moved me from a different dorm, and I go in, and I was like, and I see another Hispanic dude. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? And he's like, hey, what's going on? I was like, what are you in here for? Like, armed robbery, but I'm about to beat it, though. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, but I got to fight this aggravated assault I caught in here. I was like, you caught an aggravated assault in the county jail? Like, how did that happen? Mind you, at this point, everyone has knives. The first day I got in there, they gave me a knife. Like, this,
right.
The county jail. Like, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
And so he's like, this dude came into my cell, like, jerking off. I was like, he came into your cell jerking off.
Right.
I was like, what did you do? He's like, I stabbed him. I was like, and they charged you for aggravated assault?
I mean, it seems excessive to stab him. You just punch him or throw him out of the cell, or.
I mean, this guy might be trying to take your manhood, man.
Oh,
like,
well, I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know what
he's doing. You just said he was jacking off. I thought
it wasn't.
Weirdos. There's weirdos.
There's weirdos, but I mean, you don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be my first thought. You don't live in this cell.
Yeah.
I'm in bed sleeping. You walk into the cell, jerking
Yeah.
off. Like this is
We have those guys that'll like the guys would come in and they'd be like, because my cell had you could see the guard station, and there would be a female guard. Be like, Cox. I'd be like, yeah, what's up? Can I use your cell for what? And that guy, she, that good Officer Brown down there, she looked good. Like, no, you can't use my cell. No.
It's crazy, man. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What do you guys call
snipers?
them?
Well, if they're at a distance, we call them snipers. If they get them up, if the guy gets close to the girl, they call them gunners. They cut a hole in the pocket. So Officer Brown, how you doing today? And they'll be like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're gonna go away. make me call the fucking lieutenant. I'm gonna have to fill out paperwork. You're gonna go to the shoe. Fuck off." They can happen so often the cops don't like. Some of them don't even get upset.
Oh yeah. Some of them actually like it.
Some will. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that I've heard of COs that they sit there and they know the guy's doing the guy's just talking to the CO, and she's like, okay, all right. So you almost done? You almost done? Well, let me know. Okay, you done? And the guy's, yeah, I'm gonna go. Okay, all right. And it's just like,
I mean, these guys. I mean, right.
they're just weirdos.
They're just
They're a bunch of
weirdos, man.
So anyway, he stabs the guy.
He stabs the guy, and I'm like, man. My friends had offered to bond me out, and I was gonna ride it out. Like, why would we waste bond money like that?
Now you're like, I can't be here. I can't do this.
No. It was like a week after they called me too.
Right.
I was like, you see, guys still got that bond money? Like, get me out of here, man. Get me out of here. So as soon as I got out of there, they bond me out. Gwinnett picks me up almost like the next day.
Right.
I'm at this point. I'm the world tour of county jails.
Right.
Like so, and like I know that it's like the quickest way for me to do this is just like get everything over with. It's gonna be the quickest way out of this. So I started pleading out. And he was like, yeah, fuck this. It's time. Let me just finish this. Like obviously I'm not very good on the run. Like
right. The slow speed chase in a fucking in the U-Haul.
Yeah.
How long did you stay in jail? Were you going from county jail to county jail? Did you ever go to a prison?
I don't know. I started out county jail, and eventually I went to prison.
Okay.
Yeah,
How much time?
I ended up doing 2 years in prison, and then like another year that they didn't count from the county.
And this is for the burglary.
For the violation of probation on the charges was a 2 counts of smash and count burglary. There was a felony criminal damage and a bunch of other stuff. It was like they nitpick.
Mm-hmm.
They try to add little things. They try to count. Obviously like burglary. Which at the time I didn't understand was entering a premise or dwelling for the intentions of committing a felony. That's how it is in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, so they counted that. They counted me entering the vacant as a burglary, and then me entering the thing as a burglary, and then what I stole was a smash and grab burglary. So they count 2 counts of burglary.
Smash and grab burglary. I don't. Okay. I don't. I think of smash and grab. The stores are open and they run up and they hit the.
That's what I
They
was
smash the like the display case, grab the stuff and run. But whatever. We're not making the rules. So
yeah, we are forced to live on.
Well, it wasn't 15 years. Which is what you thought you were.
So
facing.
yeah, so what I didn't understand was like the first violation they won't give you 15 years. It's usually particularly like the first time it'll probably be like 2 to 4 years, and then the second time it'll be like 5 to 7 years, and then like the third time is when you'll finish it out.
Right.
So like that's
You're doing it on the installment plan.
Yeah, basically.
Like that.
Yeah, but no one ever explained this to me. Like Georgia prison system is, like not prison system, but legal system is very weird in a lot of ways. Like there's not a lot of stuff that matches it all around the country, like the first offenders thing I told you about and all this other stuff. It's, and so it scares you. Mm-hmm. When you throw these baseball or football numbers out there, I was just like, yo, did I really do something that was that wrong? The guy got all the jewelry back. He got all the money back. The insurance paid him for the jewelry and the money. This man is like, he's selling free merchandise at this point. Like, and I paid him $3,000 restitution on top of that. Like, come on, who's the victim?
Wow. That's, yeah. Okay. So, So you went to prison, you got out.
Yeah.
When did you get out?
So I got out in June of 24. So we're pushing like 17 months.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's barely.
Yeah. Barely.
Did you go to a halfway house, or they just opened the door?
So
How does that work?
so they have parole. So in Georgia.
Parole. Okay.
Yeah. So what happened was,
Almost nobody has parole anymore, right?
Man, tell me about it. But I did all that time. I fought to get out because they wouldn't count a lot of time I did, and so I had to fight to get it served. And while I was in there, I really focused on making a plan. I started taking college classes. I started changing my life around. I wanted to give back to charity when I came home. I wanted to start businesses. And so I started, first I started my 30-day plan, then I started my 90-day plan, then I started my year plan. And slowly but surely I started taking those things off. And so when I got out, they wouldn't let me out because they wouldn't approve my parole location, which was where I lived before, and it was approved for probation, which I didn't understood, but I had to figure it out. So I started writing people on the Thor housing list. Do you have this in the feds? It's transitional housing offender reentry. So it's like basically a TC, or not a TC, a halfway house.
Right.
But it's like you're not under property. You're not in state property. You're not in state custody. So they get an incentive from the government to house people re-entering the society. But the person they hooked me up with had just left the housing list. So when I got there, she was trying to make me pay like $250 a week to share a room with like two guys, which was like crazy to me. I was like, and it was a 3-bedroom apartment, and like every room was like 3 dudes, and so you're making each person pay $250 a week.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's a lot.
yeah,
That's a good business.
oh
You
yeah.
need to look into that.
Hey, I'm right there with you. Might do 2 beds, not 3. But yeah, so I told I linked up with the college professor that I was in, I was teaching me in prison, and I told, and I just just catching up. I'm not really asking for nothing. I'm just catching up, making conversation. And I mentioned to her like the living situation because she asks, right? I'm not trying to get anything out of nobody, nothing at all. And she's like, oh man, that's terrible, because I had just stole my laptop. I was ready to go back. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to go back to prison because these guys stole my laptop. But I still had property out here waiting for me when I came home. So like when people came home, they brought me my laptop, which had like all my like Illustrator and graphic design stuff, and like all the stuff I used to do. And I was like, and they stole it. I was like, oh man. And I told her about it, and she was like, look, I have a spare room. If you want, you can we can rent it. Or she didn't say rent. She could stay there. She wanted me to stay there for free at first. And so I stayed there for free for maybe 3 months before I told her, I was like, look, I got to pay something.
Right.
Like I can't, this is too much. I got to pay something. And so I lived with her and her husband in the spare room. I stayed in the spare room. Really good people. Like, shout out to her, Hope Hilton. Like, really good people. So she's part of a thing. Do you guys have university classes in the feds?
I mean, they do, but I think it's very difficult to.
Because they brought back the Pell Grant.
Right.
Yeah. So were you in when they brought it back or no?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because now you can apply. Because I know in Georgia, certain prison let you go to a university called Ashland University, which is a real university, but it's like online.
Right.
And so they'll supervise while you're doing the actual online work. And so, but that's like the full course load. There's nothing for people who are about to reenter society. And,
Right.
So they have this program called Common Good Atlanta. I think it's in 7 prisons now in Georgia, which is really good because Georgia does not usually let you in the system. They're really hard with. They have something called the Brady Law. You heard about this one?
No.
So it's illegal to take pictures outside or inside of a facility or document video or anything like that completely without express written permission of the Georgia Department of Corrections.
Okay.
Yeah. So for them to allow people to come in is very difficult because they do all kinds of background checks and all this. And even then, they still have the discretion to tell you no. No.
Right.
So these guys have been doing like for like the last like 10 to 20 years. They've been doing this really good work. The founder, Sarah Higginbotham, I think her father or a family member of hers was in prison on and off, and it didn't end well for him towards the end of his life. I think it was an uncle, and she was like, "This is terrible," especially after she found out they eliminated the Pell Grant in like the '90s, like during the Super Predator Acts and things like that. And so she decided she was like, "I'm going to do something." And she was a university professor. She was a literature professor, and they started this program, and now they have this really big program. It's like a lot of the humanities. So you have English, literature, critical thinking, art history, things like that. It's really good, and the most important part about that, like why I bring it up, is because that is like critical to changing people. Like you mentioned art app, and so like when how many times did people call you by your first name, like staff, like when you were inside?
No, never.
Never.
No, it's always Cox
Cox.
or inmate.
So when I started taking these classes with these people, I heard my first name for the first time in 3 years. I was like it was like, "Hi Darius, how you doing?"
All right.
I was like, I felt uncomfortable. Like I didn't feel comfortable. I felt like I was like, you call me Solis, you call
Right.
like it didn't like, and like that's how far I had gotten. Like I was like, it was like a shock to me. They treated you like a real human being. Like if I didn't take that, I wouldn't have been prepared to leave. Like because I was like, I don't know how like the feds are, especially like you were Coleman, right?
Yeah.
So like when you were in Coleman, it was more calm, right? It was like more orderly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, or like Georgia State prisons. Have you heard about these things? These things are.
It's like I was thinking of like Florida State Prison's just off the chain. Like it's just fucking. It's every guy that comes here with a state prison story. It's insanity.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like it's like the worst thing I saw in my time. Like I've seen murders. Like in there, it was like that's not even the worst thing I saw. I was the orderly that fed the hole, and so we went to feed the hole, and they have that big metal crate with for the laundry.
Yeah.
With the gates and with this yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I see like all like the sheets in there like covered in blood, and like the gate was the top was open. So I look in there, and I see a guy with his eye outside of his face, and like stabbed up bad. And I was like this
In
the laundry basket.
bin?
Yeah, yeah. The people in the hole can get out. They release themselves. Like they have
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
That's
they have
nuts.
they have the ability to release themselves. Like people have those videos you see on Facebook. I'm sure you probably come across them where it's like the white with the blue stripe down the middle and it has a blue collar.
Right.
That's Georgia.
Okay.
So they have the most videos usually because like everyone has cell phones in there. Isn't I don't want to make it about prison. Like it's not that thing, but it's just like that's the environment that I was exposed to. And so when I was able to take like university classes and do all these things, that's really what granted me the ability to like go somewhere with that, And they gave me the idea to like, let me do my plan. Let me do the 30-day. Let me do the 60-day. Let me do the 90-day. Let me do a year. And so I slowly but surely I checked everything off. Like I started a vending machine company. I got 20 vending machines now. I do charity work. Like I help a lot of kids. I mentor children. I do school drive giveaways. I gave away to 500 school kids. What was it at like the beginning of the year? And so school supplies, notebooks, scissors, crayons, things like that. I do a lot of community informational stuff. We did immigration rights seminars. I've helped release people from prison, like through petitioning parole boards or helping them fight their cases and things like that. Like, I'm trying to, for all those terrible things that I was like, I'm trying to make up for them, and then some, because it's like you should make more than you destroy. You should create more than you destroy, And so that's the path that I'm on right now, and it's been pretty successful. Like I spoke at the Georgia Capitol, with the senators and state representatives. I have mentors that are helping me out. The business is growing. I got government contracts. It's bigger than I could have imagined how positive it would have been in that short amount of time.
Yeah. I was gonna say you just got out, really.
Yeah, really. I mean, so like, but just like you put a plan down and you check off one by one. And like we were talking about earlier, like do everything all at once, see what pans out. And sometimes all of it pans out, sometimes none of it.
Yeah.
But hey,
Something will eventually.
something will eventually. I put a lot of things all out in the fire all at the same time. Sometimes the pottery cracks, sometimes it shapes form. But one thing is I am so far removed from the mentality I've had right now. Like, I'm sure you can empathize to that, or not even empathize, relate. Like,
Right.
Yeah. 'Cause it's just like, who? Like, do you ever think back as like, who was that guy? Or do you ever think back as like,
Yeah, I've talked about that the other day where I was like, I look at it and I think, what the fuck was I thinking? Like, I would never do that now. Like, or I don't want to say never, but I look and I think, boy, that was insanity. Like that, that I would, some of the things that I pulled off, or just even having the balls to do it or the guts to do it. I'm like, that was.
Now, I got a real question for you, because this is a good one, because I've been thinking about it, but I haven't had anyone to really bounce it off of. Like, and I'm still friends with some of the people I'd spent time with, but like everyone's caught up in their own stuff. We never talk about these kinds of things. When like towards the end of my sentence, like everything, I'm trying to imagine myself free, but the person that entered prison seemed like a dream. It seemed like it didn't exist, like it didn't happen. It just seemed like I had lost touch with all the stories, all the different things I had done. It just seemed like a fantasy. Like it just didn't seem real anymore. Did you ever see that? Because you've done some like pretty bold actions, but like,
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I probably also written about those things and much more than you have. You know what I'm saying? Because I've rewritten them and written them. So I mean, they're.
But doesn't that separate it more from the reality? Like, because you're does it never feel like you're writing about a fictional character, or are you really just like, yeah, that was me?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't really feel like that. No, but
No?
I understand what you're saying. But it's hard not to. Yeah, to kind of just go like, well, like you said, like it does seem almost
Surreal.
fantastic. Yeah, I was fantastical or surreal. Like I can't believe, like I'm like in shock.
Yeah.
But I still also am very aware that all of it happened. So
No, I mean,
Right.
I'm aware of it. It was just like, that's probably the better word, fantastical. Like, it just seems like, it seems like it wasn't real.
right,
Because especially if it's so far removed, because it's not like something that's present tense. It's like, especially in your case, you did, what, how many years?
13,
Like,
just shy of 13.
That's very far removed from the original action. Like, it seems like, not your story, but I mean, just like, time makes things seem fantastical when you're living on an extreme.
Right.
So it's just like, I think maybe that's part of the thing that makes it easier to change, just because it's just like, this is the wow factor. Is like,
I think being successful makes it much easier to not go back.
yeah.
Success really does help. It certainly makes it easier.
Yeah.
Or I was gonna say, or moving towards success, I'd say it helps a lot too, because at least you can see some movement, even though it takes a long time.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, like, I don't know, but it's good though.
Yeah,
It's good. I mean, change is not only inevitable. You should look forward to it. Things change a lot, and so like that kid that was angry at the world that I was,
right.
that's gone. Like, I love everybody right now. Like, obviously people cut me off in traffic. I tell them go fuck themselves. But like,
Right.
other than that, I mean, sometimes I see myself as like, I'm my father's son. Sometimes I see myself as like, the environment. Sometimes I see myself as like, hey, don't worry about it. Just shrug it off your shoulder. You did the thing. There's a lot of people want you to what is it? Stew on it. They want you.
Right.
They want you to be ashamed for the rest of your life. And my mother does that. She's like, aren't you ashamed of telling people these stories?
No.
Like, look, I love you, Mom, but I gotta get it off my chest. These are things I did.
Right.
Like, you know, and I'm sure people are going to listen to it and be like, oh, you're glorifying crime or you're glorifying violence or these. It's like,
Yeah, there's always going to be some asshole out there that's fucking, you know, complaining about everything.
yeah, I mean, just like, look, you get it off your chest, tell the world who you are or who you were and who you're trying to be. And let them decide from your actions which one it is.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified of videos just like this. Also, if you want to follow Darius, he just started a TikTok account, and we're going to leave the link to it in the description so you can go there and you can follow all of his TikToks. Also, if you're interested in being a guest, please go to our website and go to the Be a Guest page, and you can leave a video and fill out a very short form, and we'll get back with you. That link is also going to be in the description box. Once again, thank you very much for watching the video, and please consider joining our Patreon, and thank you very much. See ya.